Sleepy town settled for the night, where every lawn is tailored just right. And it's about time that the back porch light comes on. At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street.
I haven't talked to you all weekend.
Yeah,
How was
what
your
did you
weekend?
do this weekend?
I didn't do nothing.
Nothing?
It was nice. It was kind of rainy. I gardened a little bit.
Oh, you got some gardening in?
I did. I read my book and I made stuffed peppers with everything from the garden. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw your story on that. What book are you reading right now?
It's called The Essex Serpent.
What's that about?
It's I think it's actually on Apple Plus TV. It's a show with Tom Hiddleston and Claire Danes.
Oh.
And she is like a widow. She has a son. The husband dies. Apparently he was abusive. She's like a naturalist, so she's intrigued about looking for like fossils and different things. And she's sent to this other parish or whatever to like stay with Tom Hiddleston's character, who is a pastor. He has a wife and kids, but something's going on between those two. You should check out the trailer. It looks pretty good.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading. How's your books from Salem?
Dude, I'm such a slow reader. I read very slow. And I don't know, it's because I have so many other things on my mind. So like my mind just starts drifting when I'm reading. And then I have to read the same passage 10 fucking times over.
Yeah.
I am not a reader. I love to read and I love the cozy feeling of reading. But realistically, I can't get myself to sit down and do it for more than like an hour at a time.
Oh, that's pretty dang good. Last night I got real cozy in the sunroom. Had the little fireplace going, had my blanket, the little twinkle lights were on. But every 10 minutes I was getting up to go do something and then I'd sit back down.
It's
and keep
hard
reading.
to focus. It's like
really hard.
Reading is like meditating. Like if you're not focused, like your mind just drifts and then you gotta come back to it, recenter yourself, find your place again, because then you're like, where the fuck did I even leave off? I don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
It's
as soon as I get into like a good rhythm and like something like the plot's actually starting to happen, then I'm like, okay, I'm fucking, don't distract me.
Yes.
You know, there's some enemies to lovers going on here. There's some like good plot.
I love a good juicy plot. Oh, the only book that I started was the One Night in Salem book, the compilation that I bought at Dye Your Boots On. It's like they're all different authors. It's like a bunch of different stories, little vignettes. And they all take place in Salem. And it's really cool because half of the places that they talk about in the books, like I know exactly where they are. I know exactly what they're talking about. I know exactly what everything looks like. So it's really cool to be immersed in stories that take place in Salem when I'm not in Salem. So then it feels like I'm in Salem.
Are they more modern stories? Are they spooky stories?
They're all spooky stories. Some of them are more of like gruesome and like violent.
Oh.
And like I wasn't really expecting that. I was expecting more like supernatural, like ghost kind of stuff.
Is it fiction?
But it
or is it nonfiction?
Well, some of it is based on reality because like it's Salem, so a lot of it is based on actual landmarks in the town. Some of them are older, like 1600s. Some of them are around the time of the Salem witch trials. There are more modern stories in there though, so it's kind of like a mixed bag. It's like jumping all over the timeline. But it's cool. It keeps things fresh and it's keeping things interesting. So I'm enjoying it. It's just taking me a really long time to get through the book.
It's really having to like carve out, I'm gonna sit here for a half hour.
Yeah.
Just make it really easy on yourself. But it has to be like the perfect temperature. Are you inside or outside? Do you have your comfy socks? Do you have your blanket? Do you have your beverage?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
But it's
all the
cool,
stars aligned last night.
Did they?
And I was able to do that.
I like how it's little vignettes because then I don't feel like I have to come back to it right away because then I'll forget like plot points or something that's happening in the long story. So I like how they're like broken up into like small enough chapters, like it's digestible. Like I could read a chapter or two and then put it down and then come back like a week later if I wanted to pick it back up. But if I were in the middle like of an actual book, like a whole 300-page plot line, I feel like I have to like keep the momentum going or I'm gonna forget stuff that happened and then I'm gonna have to backtrack anyway. So
yeah, I loaned my mom The Invisible Hour. I was like, I'm probably not gonna get to this anytime soon, and I was still salty a little bit about Alice's behavior. You can borrow this, Mom.
Her behavior. Yeah. Well, I don't know what I want to read next after my Salem book. Do I want to read The Invisible Hour? Or do I want to read Hillary's book, Grimoire Girl?
Oh, yeah. I would dip your toe into that one. Something new.
Yeah, I'm excited. One thing that I forgot to talk about on the Spinster episode, remember we mentioned Alice's name because we were talking about celebrities that, you know, still don't have children or aren't married. Alice was on that list. She said something on the panel that she did. Didn't Hillary? Because Hillary, she's got a husband, she's got got kids. And I think she asked Alice something about her not having any kids. And I think Alice said her books are her children.
Yeah.
Or her dog, or Shelby, her dog, right?
Yeah, that's true. And she can't pick a favorite because they're all evolving and just changing all the time, just like a kid.
Yeah, kind of like Stevie Nicks' answer, right? Her songs are her children.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're a creatrix at that level, you could get away with saying that.
We still get the side eye. We don't make enough money to have that as our alibi.
Bombastic side eye.
Yeah.
I can't just be like, Mom, my songs are my children. She's gonna be like, I get a fucking life.
Yeah. Yep.
What? What do you mean your songs are your children? Are your songs going to college? Do you have to pay for an education for all of your songs? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Well, our babies already cost us 11 grand, so, well, not us specifically, but.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Our songs, right? Yeah. I thought you were talking about our pets, because our pets, our pets can get a little expensive too.
Oh my God, so expensive. Should we hey witch hey?
Oh, by the way, hey witch hey.
Hey, I'm Kristina.
I'm Justina. Welcome to Magnolia Street.
Welcome, your one and only Practical Magic Fandom podcast, as well as original Practical Magic inspired music from the Stinas.
Every single week, we deep dive on an aspect from the book or the movie.
I think we should redo the Hey Witch Hey when our guest comes in, because you have been wanting to talk to this person since before we started the podcast.
Yeah. I've been following Joseph's work for a while, maybe a few years, couple years. I know he did I think it was actually his second Kickstarter campaign, if I'm correct. I don't even know at what point in his journey that I found him. I think I got his Kickstarter, it was the second edition. I don't really know what the difference is between the first and second edition.
Is that one of our questions? Put that on our list.
It's on the list. Because I was curious. I was like, how many editions is he at now? Like, I don't know. I know he's done a few Kickstarter campaigns, but I found him when he was doing, I think, the second edition release. I found it on an Instagram ad and I clicked it right away. I was like, what is this? Practical Magic Oracle deck? Sign me up. I was like, take my freaking money, please. So I found him through an Instagram ad, or I found his work through an Instagram ad, and I jumped on the Kickstarter campaign. I think I threw like $100 at it, and I didn't realize that it got me 2 different decks. Well, it's the same deck, but he does like 2 different edges. Like one is a gold foil edge and one is like a dark holographic edge, which is really freaking cool. So I got the decks, and then he does this really cool thing with his Kickstarter campaign. He does like these stretch goals. So every time he meets, I guess, like a certain goal number, he adds more goodies to the pot of, like, for his supporters or his backers. Like once the campaign ends, they get a lot more goodies than what they initially signed up for, which I thought was really freaking cool. So I signed up for, I think it was like the second campaign he might have been running, got all those goodies, did a YouTube video on them, on the deck, because it was the Oracle deck at the time. He had not released his tarot deck yet. I don't even think it was designed yet at that point. He might have been conceptualizing it at that point, but thus far it was only his Oracle decks that were actually out and about, and that's what he was marketing on his Kickstarter campaign.
Hold on a second.
What is your cat doing?
No, please stop. Please stop destroying. He has like the chaos energy right now. I apologize.
I know.
Let's say who we're talking to and what they've done, because some people might not have even known that there was a Practical Magic deck of any kind.
Right. So yes. So today we are talking with our special guest, Joseph Benitez-Egerton of Grounded by the Moon, and he's the wonderful creator of all of the Practical Magic Oracle and Tarot decks, specifically the Inner Witch Oracle and Tarot. We mostly use the Oracle on the show. I don't think we've dived too far into the Tarot deck on this show, just because the Oracle decks, they're like standalone images and they're really just quick to get like a nice, fun little reading for the sake of the podcast anyway.
Yes.
But we did use the tarot deck. He sent me and Kristina a tarot deck when we connected with him. I guess he found his way to the podcast, which was really exciting for me because I've been following him forever.
Right.
So I was fangirling so hard when he reached out to us and he was like, I want to send you girls something. Like,
and he was just as excited to meet us. We're like, we're nobody. We're nobody. And like, it was so comfortable right away.
What the fuck? Dude, your cat.
Did
your cat just throw that at you?
You're banned. It was so comfortable speaking with him right away that it was just, we dubbed him our Vincent for our little Magnolia Street community, and he's very lovely. And we've gotten to talk a little bit on Marco Polo and just messaging back and forth, but finally we get to sit down. He carved out some time for us this morning, so we're going to get to sit and chat with him and pick his brain about this construction, this magnificent metaphysical divination tool that tailors to Practical Magic fans.
Right. Oh God. I have so many questions. I hope he's just not overwhelmed with all the questions I want to ask him. Because like these are questions that I've just had in my mind, just like as a consumer of his awesome products. Like I have so many questions. Like, how does he do all this? First of all, he's a one-man show. So it's very impressive.
Yes.
You know, he does it all. He designs it all. He does all the sourcing of the materials himself. I guess he runs his crowdfunding campaign on his own, which is like, now that me and you have run our own crowdfunding campaign, we've experienced it. I'm curious to see what his crowdfunding experience is like.
Right. And we're going to be nailing him with all these questions like right as he wakes up, because he's on West Coast time.
That's right.
Which is 3 hours behind us. And this is the first episode that you and I will be doing with a guest that doesn't have anything else attached to it, because we've done other interviews before where we're either talking about the soap or the Book of Shadows. This is 100% going to be about the Inner Witch Oracle and Tarot deck from Grounded by the Moon and Joseph's process, right?
Yeah, and hopefully we get to do this with more artisans and creators down the line, just giving them their own episode, because there's so much involved with, you know, creating anything. I just want to give them the appropriate amount of time to talk about all of the wonderful things that they create and do. So yeah, I thought it was appropriate to give him his own episode for sure. Yeah. There's a lot I want to ask him.
Good. Well, this one's going to be over on our Patreon for a full episode visual, and it probably will have more uncut footage, uncut interview. What am I trying to say?
Uncut jams. Do you remember that lady? Uncut jams.
Uncut jams.
Uncut jams.
And uncut jams. Oh, man.
That was a moment in time.
But you can check out the whole thing over on our Patreon, patreon.com/Magnolia Street Podcast. For the visual, we'll probably ask Joseph to pull out some of his supplies. I want to see what he uses. I want to see everything.
I want to peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
I hope he's not like, these bitches are nosy as fuck with these questions. And I'm not like asking them to be a nosy ass. Like I'm asking them because like I'm genuinely curious, because I know he does this all on like by himself for the most part. Like aside from like the companies that he sources to help him like produce his decks, and like I don't know how much of it I think he does all the shipping himself. He's really like mostly just him.
Do you and I need to talk about anything else before we fairy dust our way over into the interview?
Should we ask him to do like a couples reading for us?
Because fuck that guy on the boat.
Because that guy in the boat with the fucking antlers told us that we were too much energy for him. He has boundaries.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. We don't really know if Joseph is a reader, if he does that for himself or friends, or if he's just a creator. We have no idea.
Right. I'm excited to chat with him. The one thing that I wanted to mention before was that when he sent us the tarot deck, because initially we've been working with the Oracle on our podcast since the beginning of the show, basically. So we haven't really dived into the tarot too much, but me and Kristina did use it on a Beltane ritual that we did over on our Patreon.
Yeah, that's right.
So that was fun. He also sent us these little wooden card holders. I have mine over on my little altar space over there. I still have Beltane up.
Oh my gosh!
Card out since we did that ritual.
Girl, you gotta go change that card.
But maybe it's because I've been meditating on that ritual since then, and
I don't think that's
still manifesting.
I don't think that's it.
You think it's past you think it's like expired bread, like it passes manifestation point, and it's like, nah, you need to switch the card out now.
Yes, you gotta put new energy into that.
Exactly.
Refresh it.
Don't want
hit that refresh button.
Stagnant over there.
Yes, I do like to keep his larger cards. These are probably like 4x6 size cards.
Postcards?
Yeah, postcard size. I keep the manifestation one, the Amasvidas one, right on my desk, along with his tiger's eye he gave us.
Oh, beautiful. Mine's still in my candle. It's still.
Oh my god!
Did you burn your candle all the way?
No.
Oh my god, it still smells so good. I kind of want to light it right now.
Oh, we should light it when he joins.
In the spirit of Joseph joining us today.
Faith Hill. Should we play him in with Faith Hill?
That's just our entry song for all of our guests, right?
I'm gonna light mine too. Yeah, that smells awesome. I just couldn't wait to dig the tiger's eye out. And that's not even the one that was in there. There was a smaller nugget of tiger's eye in there. Do you remember? There was the big worry stone.
Yeah, I have that one over there in my little disc.
And then in your candle, right, there's a smaller little nugget?
No, my candle has a big chunk of tiger's eye in it.
But it's not the worry stone. That's what I'm trying to
No,
say.
it's not the worry stone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different tiger's eye. But yeah,
Here we go.
there is another tiger's eye in the candles too, guys. So if you go, I think we have a general coupon code for the store. So you can get, I think it's 10% off your entire purchase with the code Magnolia Magic. So yeah, check that out. If you guys want to check out Joseph's store on groundedbythemoon.com, you can get these beautiful candles, and he has other candles too, not just this one. He's got a lot of good stuff over there. He does not just create tarot and oracle decks. He hand pours his candles, pretty sure. We're gonna ask him all about his candle pouring process. He's got tarot bags, tarot cloths, card holders.
Doesn't he have oils and
pendulum boards, oils, sprays, room sprays? He's just got it all. He's doing great things over there. I'm excited for him.
Oh, right. My cat has sensed that the candle is lit, and I was going to come and fuck everything up. Don't light yourself on fire. So
your cats typically like to fuck with candles.
They'll put their little noses really close. You were talking about Punky's crinkly ass whiskers. Sometimes their little eyebrows get a little singed.
Yeah, Punky singed his whiskers off when he was a kitten. But I think he's learned his lessons. My cats don't typically go near fire.
I just worry about their tails. It's just they're not paying attention.
Yeah. When I light candles, I like to either light them in those big wooden lanterns, so they can't really get to the flame.
Yes.
Or have a big enough candle jar where the flame is low enough where it's not gonna get to their tail.
Yes. So. I also love, one last thing about the candles is they're in a glass little container with a lid.
Yes.
We love a glass container with a lid.
So you could take your spell work on the go with you.
Yep. Reuse it. Reuse that container. Yeah. Okay. Are you ready?
Just so, it smells so good. I'm never gonna get over it. So were there any cards specifically, before we jump into things with him, any card symbol specifically that you wanted more clarification on from him?
Well, I don't have the oracle deck, so I don't really know what all is in there.
So I'll just go through it real quick for you. So we have the elements. Okay, he's got all 4 elements. The symbols card, which is the star. He's got lilac, the amas veritas, the practical magic, I guess just a general card, practical magic card. He's got belladonna, tiger's eye. He's got a couple crystals in here. He's got the clear quartz. I think there was also a
rose quartz.
Rose quartz in here. Yeah. He's got butterfly. I think I remember him saying something about the butterfly that's not really pertaining to the movie, but I don't remember exactly what that is.
Okay, let's ask about that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask about that. Toad, resurrection. All right, so we got another element. What's this?
I want to know about his green hat.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's in a lot of his pictures, or at least the main pictures that he likes to share.
Yeah. It's cute. It's like a little gnome.
It is adorable. Hat. He's a little gnome.
Wisteria.
Oh, nice.
Rose quartz. There's the rose quartz. Midnight margaritas. We got the Book of Shadows. The family home. Rose. Lavender.
I want to know his theory about our theory about Rose. Do it, Becator.
I didn't put that on the list,
but
we can add it. Yeah, so we got the climbing rose bush, which is boots, the Halloween scene. Firefly, I put that on the list because I was curious about that.
I guess between the climbing rose and the roses, why did he do those two? Do 2 different ones?
Yeah, and then he also has garden gate. He's got tea, new moon, blood bond, spell work, cauldron, full moon, letters, rosemary, inner circle, blood on the moon.
Oh my god.
Amethyst.
Oh, amethyst.
Spilled salt. Black kitten.
We haven't had the salt or the kitten.
No. Witch's hanging rope.
We haven't had that one either.
Divination.
Man, there's a lot we have not pulled.
Yeah, we keep pulling some of the same ones.
Yeah.
Candle, phone tree. Circle around the moon. Death watch beetle. And sparrow. And the last one's another spread card. So that's it.
He does pull some of the stuff from the books because the sparrow's not in the movie.
Right. So the sparrow in the book, it's a sparrow in the book instead of a dove.
Well, the sparrow flies around 3 times, right?
That's right. House. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So I'm curious, why did he include the sparrow and not the dove?
Yeah. Ooh, write that down. That's good. Okay.
Also, I'm curious to know, like, is he ever planning on expanding the oracle to include more imagery that he didn't maybe necessarily use the first time around?
Yeah. What were the first drafts? Like, what has he left out? Is
Right.
there a limit of how many oracle cards he wanted to do?
I don't know.
We gotta get to this goddamn interview. I have so many
We
questions.
have 15 minutes.
Let's see if he's ready. I'm ready.
Jump on with him. I'm just going to take a peek real quick at the tarot deck just to see, is there anything we want to touch on in the tarot?
Well, I want him to tell us, because he told us a little bit about, he changed some of the suits. Like this one is called Teacher.
Oh.
So he uses the elements. So the element of fire is the wands. The element of water is cups, of course. So that card that I was holding up would have been the air card. Let me see. His court cards are the initiate, the apprentice, the teacher, and the sovereign. So I'm wondering if the teacher is more like the queen.
Maybe, because Paige is more of an apprentice, not really a teacher.
Right. Oh, here it is. Okay, so initiate is page, apprentice is knights, teacher is queens, and sovereigns are kings. Dude, I can't believe I have my Yule card out on my altar right now.
I know, it's nuts. I feel the summer just flew, and then the fall just flew. Both of our, like, our Boston trip and our Salem trip, long gone, long done.
So busy. And the little chill in the air and like the holiday stuff coming back out, like my fall decorations, and is kind of creeping toward late fall, early winter. This is when we started everything, and everything, it seems just as exciting as it did when we started. Like I get the same little tingle in my cerebrum, cerebellum.
Blah, 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 blah. It's a fresh season and it's new and it's exciting, and like I love the new Listen Now squares, like the colors.
Pretty. Yes.
And like
bold.
Definitely a glow up. We got a little bit of a glow up, right?
Yeah. All right. He said, hang on a second.
I also had to feed the cat because he was acting like a crazy biatch.
Is there something in the air today? Because his cat's acting like a crazy biatch. His cat too today? What the hell? My cats for once are actually being like chill. I don't know where they are. Coraline's still sleeping and Punky's, I don't know where Punky is.
He said he's just grabbing coffee.
Okay.
So we can hop off here and open the other one?
Okie doke.
Okay, bye.
See you on the other side.
Bye. Leaf is here with us.
Kitty.
I set up a trap for him. If he has something to lay on, of course he's going to lay on it.
A trap? It's like a boo hag.
Yeah.
He's got to stop at the door to count the broom bristles.
Yeah. He just wants snacks.
Yeah. Just give me snacks.
I think I'm ready. I wanted to ask you guys, because we have a couple minutes. One of my friends gave me a new book, and they said that they thought of me because it said something about like practical magic and blah blah blah. But have you heard of this book yet?
Yeah, I've seen that all over my Instagram feed.
Yeah, so it's like an indie author, I guess.
Yeah.
And like she supported her directly, so I got like these cool little like things.
How cute.
But it says like for fans of practical magic, Gilmore Girls, unfortunate side effects, and like I don't know. I'm just like, this sounds kind of like fun. So I'm gonna
it has been on my reading list.
Yeah.
Just because like somebody popped up on like TikTok. It was like, do you like Gilmore Girls? Do you like practical magic? So I've been following. So please let us know how that is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So how are you? How is everything going?
Good. Sorry, I'm trying to find like a paper or something.
Okay.
You're fine.
My mother-in-law has been staying with us, so I haven't been like in my office in here, so this feels nice.
Yeah.
I had to move my computer and everything out to the living room, and I've been like busy. I've been like creating and stuff, and then too many things at once, you know. And I was talking to my husband the other day, and he's like, "You're living like out here, and you need to live like in the present."
Oh, he brought you back in.
Yeah. So I'm
what
like, okay.
What sign is he?
He's a Leo.
Okay. And so the Leo was like, you need to come back.
Mm-hmm.
If a Leo is telling you to scale back, you know you're out there, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if anybody knows what it's like to have their life thrown in an upheaval, Kristina has guests staying at her house all the freaking time.
I know, we have them coming this weekend too. I don't know what day, but it has just been like a revolving door. But nothing compared to what Joseph is working on.
Being thrown out of your office, I'm sure, feels very just like you feel distant from your work and like what you love to do, I guess, because you're not in your creative space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was telling my
That's
husband
tough.
yesterday, like I'm still like creating and doing stuff out there, but it's just like there's like this little something that's like
Yes.
missing, and like
Yeah.
it's just there's energy in here. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah.
so.
And you've worked worked so hard to cultivate that energy and make that space your own magical little safe haven to go create.
Dude,
I don't think I could do it.
It was, so my in-laws were visiting, and this room is weird, where my studio is weird. You have to walk through my studio to get to the guest room. So it's not like I could even have like this space not have their energy in it. So I had to do some deep cleansing. But it was just, it was kind of hard to explain. They were kind of like looking at everything because they're pretty Christian. So it was kind of like,
yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Are we?
You have your coffee?
Dive in.
You have
here?
Oh
your.
yeah, I have my
drink?
coffee right here.
Awesome. I love that freaking mug, by the way. That's so freaking badass.
It's on sale. I'm doing like a end of the year sale.
Love it. So cute. So first of all, hey witch hey.
Hey witch hey.
Hey.
Joseph, a big hey witch hey. So today we are chatting with Joseph. Am I saying this right? Benitez-Egerton? Is that how you say it? Benitez.
Benitez-Egerton.
Benitez-Egerton.
Egerton. Beautiful. So Joseph Benitez-Egerton of Grounded by the Moon. He creates beautiful practical magic inspired oracle and tarot decks, candles, and other magical items. We've used his Inner Witch Oracle, I'm pretty sure, in every single episode right here on Magnolia Street. We do a card pull every single episode, and we are so excited to finally catch up with him today and chat all about his process. And boy, do we have a lot of questions for him.
Yeah. We were kind of gabbing a little bit before this. Justina and I were Zooming, and we were just ping-ponging questions like, we have to stop. We got to stop because we got to get Joseph on here and just ask him all these questions bright and early.
Yeah, ask him himself. So without further ado, we'd like to introduce you to the amazing and magical one-man show. Very impressive. Joseph, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor. I look forward to coming back every time. So
awesome. Yeah,
this has been on our wish list to talk to you since the beginning, since we connected, and you shared with us the Kickstarter stuff, and we were just like, you have to be our first person on season 2 because season 1 was like our first go around. We didn't really know what we're doing. And I was like, Joseph has to be number 1. So we're so happy that you had time this morning. We know you're really busy, but
well,
Joseph,
thank you.
Joseph,
Big congratulations to you guys. Season 2, that's awesome. I wanted to give you guys a big shout out and say congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you believe we made it this far?
I say that all the time too, so don't worry.
How did this happen? Yeah, so I guess just take a little time to introduce yourself. I mean, I gave you a little bit of an introduction, but that's nothing compared to, I'm sure, what you can tell us. Like, who are you? Where are you from? What kind of things you create? And what are your main 3 zodiac signs?
Oh, okay. So, as you know, my name is Joseph. I'm actually based here in Eugene, Oregon. I was born and raised in Southern California, though. I've been up here for about like 4 years, and practical magic really got me started into my own craft, and it really helped me embrace my own uniqueness, which is practical magic. Right. So
it's a lifestyle.
It really
it's a vibe.
It's not just a movie, it's a lifestyle, right?
And a book,
Yeah.
So my friend and me were like watching it over and over, and then I ended up making like oils because I started off with like making blends, and I made like a midnight margaritas blend and like an inner circle blend and like little themed, and she's like, you should sell these, and then it kind of like grew from there.
Okay.
And then so I started making an oracle deck because I was like, there's not an oracle deck for practical magic. And it was really important for me to be able to help others embrace their own magic.
Right.
And especially like, because I know when I was starting, it was not that easy to like tap into, and like kind of know where to go and like signs to look for. So I really wanted to incorporate all that in that deck as like an intro to your magic,
Yeah.
It just kind of led me to creating more practical magic inspired items. I made candles, sprays, other decks, and I just keep on creating.
It's a bug, right? It's contagious.
It really is.
Yeah.
So you felt that like vacuum of lack of information for other people on this path. So how did you kind of pull those little strings of information? Like what path did you start down, I guess, initially?
I started with candle magic.
That shows in your deck, because I love how you include all of that. I love how you include little bits of candle magic in your deck, which is really fun.
Yes, that really got me started. Candle magic, crystal cleansing, and then I started with oracle before I went into tarot. And it just kind of like grew from there.
Right.
So where did your information come from initially? I don't know.
I actually referenced Scott Cunningham a lot. He was like a big go-to for me in the beginning, and my friend actually started me on a journey with candle magic by lending me, I don't even know who it was, but it was just called Candle Magic. And it was like a book, and so it's actually an amazing story. I hadn't talked to her in like years, and she randomly came into like the store I was working at, and then we like reconnected, and then I went over to her house, and this is before any like magic or anything. We ended up like watching a movie, and then she's like, "Oh, have you ever had your aura cleansed and like your chakras balanced?" And I'm like, "No, like why not?" You know. So long story short, she's doing all that. We both end up crying and like bawling and like connecting, and then she was telling me how she's like diving into magic. And she explained like crystals and candle magic, and I left her home that night with that book, and that kind of just started everything.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful.
That is beautiful.
How old were you?
I think 20 or 21.
Okay. And had you seen practical magic around then or before when it came out?
Oh, I've seen it before here and there, you know, and it like always kind of resonated, but it wasn't till I connected with her again that like we got on our path, we watched it, and then kind of were like, oh my God, like
shout out to her.
But, you know?
Yeah. Do you remember the very first time you saw the film and like what was like set the scene for us? Do you remember that moment that like you just knew it was that movie for you?
Middle school was the first time I saw it, and it was a friend who I still talk to now. She's like a big, huge movie buff, you know, and she's like, "Oh, Practical Magic, you've never seen it?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know what that is." And she's like, "Midnight Margaritas," and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And we saw it, and like honestly, that's the only thing that stuck to me the first time I watched it.
The Midnight Margaritas.
Because she was so like Midnight Margaritas, Midnight Margaritas. So like that scene really stuck out to me. And then I didn't rewatch it till like years and years later.
Right.
I was exposed to it, you know, and it was in my life, but it kind of awoke at a certain point in my life, even though it was always there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Were you on the bandwagon of like the other 90s witchy shows at the time?
Yeah, so I definitely like Charmed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was a big, huge Buffy fan, so like Willow, you know. And
nice. Were you a big fan of The Craft at all? That was my foray into the whole magical world.
Yes. The Craft was like my big thing before Practical Magic.
Same.
So I guess it's kind of funny because like younger me was a lot darker and like, you know, the like emo kid and like, you know, so like The Craft was a lot more me then. And then like Practical Magic is a lot more me now.
Yeah.
But The Craft does hold like special space. And
sure.
The remake I did appreciate too, or extension or whatever you call it.
Definitely.
I think when you're younger too, like your adolescence is like trying to rebel against everything.
Yeah.
And you want to do the taboo thing and all the dark stuff. So I think that resonates with a lot of younger people. And then as you get older, you really just want to drink wine in your garden and be left alone.
And be the aunts. I was just telling Kristina, I'm approaching my 40th birthday next month. And I was just telling
You don't even look close to being 40.
She does not.
Yeah, I feel it though.
Are you going to have a Practical Magic themed birthday party? I think that's how you need to do this.
I would love to, but you're
everybody
not
dress up
there.
as the aunts.
I can't have a Practical Magic party without you there, so
I know
that would be impossible. But I was just telling Kristina how I bought these like awesome antique tables at a thrift shop the other day. I was like, I'm officially entering my Victorian old lady era.
Yeah.
I just want to be the aunts. Everybody leave me alone with my cats.
Yep.
I love that. I know. I was a lot more social back when I was younger, and like since we moved here, plus COVID and everything. But I'm just kind of like hermity and kind of like I want to be here. I don't want to go anywhere. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
right,
totally.
Exactly.
So, what are your 3 zodiac signs? And do you have one kitty cat, or do you have more animals?
I have 1 cat and I have 1 dog.
Okay.
Oh, nice balance.
And then my 3 are Taurus, Virgo, and Libra.
Is Taurus your sun sign?
Yes.
Okay, my mom's a Taurus. Awesome.
The sun, moon, rising.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sun, moon, rising. Wait, you're Virgo rising, right?
No, he's the Virgo moon.
Virgo moon?
Libra
Moon.
rising.
Oh, Libra rising. Okay. I don't know why I thought you were a Virgo rising.
Are you a May Taurus or an
17th.
April Taurus?
May 17th.
May 6th. My mom's May 19th.
My best friend's the 18th. Guys, we love a Taurus.
We do love a Taurus. Yeah.
So when did you get the first idea to do like the Practical Magic centered deck? When you were like, I could definitely make this a physical product? Or was it just like a passion thing that you would just use for yourself?
Well, it started off similar to what it is, but it was kind of different, but we were watching the movies. I was making my oils, and then I was using Oracle cards. Oh, how cool would it be to have like a practice? So like the idea came, and then I was taking illustrator classes in college because at that time I had another business going on that was called Universal Vibe, and it was about promoting other like reggae bands, and I made like stickers, like shirts, and like all this stuff. So I was trying to like figure out how to like design stuff, you know, for like printing and everything. But I ended up leaving that because it wasn't as fulfilling. But so as I learned like Illustrator, I only took like one class, but I was like playing with it, and I was like, you know, like this is what people do to like make art on cards and stuff, you know? So I just kind of was playing around, and originally I was going to use like the actual characters and stuff.
Yeah.
And I printed a sample deck, and like the people emailed me that were printing the deck, and they're like, we can't print this for you because of there's like real people.
Yeah,
and like you don't have their permit. And I was like, oh. And I'm like, okay, so let me change, because I was going to use like a Sally card and like a Jilly card, and you know, so I had to change those into like Sally's like the candle.
Yeah.
You know, and like Jet is a butterfly. You know, so like things kind of like switched over. But yeah, I followed my creative passion.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Did you become obsessed with the film right away, or what is something that just like grew on you over time?
It grew on me actually. Like I said, the first time I saw it in middle school, I was like, oh, it's cool. But I was more into the craft, you know. But connecting with my friend again, doing all the magic, practical magic really like resonated, you know?
Yes.
And then I started creating the deck, and it was like, I had like the first edition that I sold. And then someone reached out, and then they were like, oh, have you ever read the books? And I was like, what? Book?
Oh, so you saw the film first and then you got introduced to the book?
Yeah, so I got introduced to the book probably in like 2018.
Okay.
And what were your initial thoughts?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll rephrase this. You can edit this out.
Okay.
I was like a little disappointed with the book at first because I watched the movie so many times, you know, and like reading it now, I appreciate it for what it is because the originality, and there's a special like energy and like magic and flow to the book as well as the movie. And I see them as two different, like, I don't know if like two different worlds, but like they're both respected and loved in their own. I did love Rules of Magic way more than Practical Magic.
Right.
But I also think that was because of Vincent.
Oh, Vincent,
right.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm in the book, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm represented, because it's so hard to find like male witches and they're gay, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it was like, I just felt very like
represented.
I don't know. Yeah, and like, God, I love him so much. Like,
yeah, he's a great character, and like, I just really wish
you're gonna make me cry.
She was in the movie.
I know, and maybe we'll see that one day.
I know.
And before we hopped on this call, Justina and I were like, "You are our Vincent." You know, we've said that from the beginning, and you know, having two brothers already, like we didn't really connect. And over the past couple months, Justina and I have found out that like the family you create around you and get to know is so much deeper, or at least on a different depth, a different kind of depth.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm getting goosebumps. Like, this is why I'm so excited to talk with you, because there was a really sweet connection instantly. So we're stoked to
I agree.
100%.
It brings back to like the whole blood bond aspect of Practical Magic, and that's like really what resonated, because me and my friend were not like blood related, but like we have that blood bond without being blood, you know what I mean? So like it's just, we connect so well, we just vibe. And
yeah, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends and who those people are that you connect with on that level. Me and Kristina had these conversations about, you know, sometimes our family seems like the people, maybe sometimes some of our family anyway, who least support us, right?
They're just, you know, as adults, you're supposed to grow and change, but sometimes they grow to be more strangers, and that's okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that your friends are the family that you choose, and
absolutely,
you know, the company that you keep. So I guess let's dive into your card deck creation process. So designing an oracle or a tarot deck seems like a daunting process, especially since you do everything on your own. Not only do you create the images and keywords to coincide, but then also the whole divination booklet. So I guess let's just go step by step and like kind of break down your process and kind of talk about each step. So first off, how do you conceptualize your decks? Do you typically think up a concept for the deck as a whole, or do you just start thinking up images and then find a concept later on to tie all those things together?
So it initially starts, I have like my theme
Okay.
that I want to make a deck around and what it's like based on. So initially, like practical magic. Okay, we'll use my oracle for instance. So I was like, okay, I want to make a practical magic deck. So then I brought out my notepad and and I had made 2 columns. And the first column was major like keywords, aspects, basically cards I wanted to like create, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I definitely want to do like elements. So I was like earth, air, fire, water. And then I wrote spirit, but I ended up changing that in the book to practical magic.
Okay.
So I kind of go through, and with the movie, I don't know how many times I watched it, but I was like, oh, I want to include this. I want to include that. Like, you know, like the symbol of like the badge and like the toad and like a rose. And like, so I was like going through like writing like things. And then afterwards, I would be like, okay, so what can this mean? You know? And like going through, this is before I used the computer, so this is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, me and my friend sat there and like wrote everything. We were
But the
like writing
magic in
keywords,
that though, like
right?
your physical energy is in that. It's something different than typing on the
Hand to
computer. So that's
paper.
interesting.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And then so we came up with like keywords, and then from there I was like talking with her, and then we started like, oh well, let's just like work on the card message, you know? So we literally were writing like pages of card meanings and stuff of like what it could mean, like little sayings, because I told her I wanted to do like little affirmations, and that's what she helped me with, was like all the affirmations with everything. And then so I did all the affirmations, and then after that, I was like writing out the summary of what the card meant. And then from there, I was working on the imagery and then getting like the cards put together and stuff like that. Because I wanted to have like everything that I wanted to put in the computer like ready.
Yeah.
Not like do it all at the
Scattered.
same time, you know? So that helped me a lot. So basically it's I come up with like a theme or an idea. I come up with like the cards that I want to include, and then I figure out the keywords, and then I go to like the imagery. But I do want to say, I think like before I start getting like the card ideas, I usually work on some kind of layout for the cards. So like for the thieves, I designed like the border.
Okay.
And then I'm like,
Like a
okay,
template.
because I don't know, for some reason that harnesses the energy for me of like what that deck is. So like
That's
to
so cool.
design the layout and then dive in, like
Right.
kind of makes it.
So did you have like the whole aesthetic of what the deck was gonna look like in your mind, or was it something that you needed to play around with more visually, like digitally on a computer, before you settled on that sleek black image with the simple image in the middle? Like, how did you finally land it? Were there other kind of aesthetics you were playing around with before you settled on that one?
It actually just kind of came to me, and I was like, I like this. And I stuck with the black and gold because that was like my company brand colors. And then I also was like, I haven't seen black decks really. You know,
Right.
my whole thing was like, I wanted to create something I haven't seen, I haven't used, that's not out there. Like, I wanted to incorporate the like Victorian aspect because it's like witchy and magical. It just kind of flowed together.
Yeah. What computer programs? So you said you use Illustrator, or you took an Illustrator class, but is that ultimately what you use to create your decks?
Photoshop and Illustrator.
And you create all the images like from scratch digitally, or do you have like a sketch that you do with your hand first, then you import or like scan that and import it into your program?
I don't actually like draw them or anything. Everything's digital. But I digitally do all my imagery from Adobe Illustrator, or Photoshop, and then from there I kind of adjust the coloring and the shaping and stuff like that.
What are your favorite tools in those programs to use? What is like in your arsenal that you always find yourself using?
I always adjust like hue and saturation for some reason because I make like the black. I really want the colors to like pop.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
So definitely that, and the eyedropper tool is like my go-to because I always am like this color,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
It's exact. Yeah.
Right.
So what I do is I'll find imagery that's like free to use on like Pixar or like something like that, and go from there and like cut, clip, and then adjust an image trace on Illustrator and kind of crop and adjust more and like.
Were there ideas or cards that you left out initially of the Oracle deck, or is that why you have like a second version or a second issue deck? Like, are there other images you would have used, or is it pretty solid?
So I actually want to make another edition. But
Awesome.
so the first edition I really rushed and I was really small. I only printed 100 copies and it was through like make plain cards, so it was like more
Oh,
costly to do it.
okay.
But the cardstock wasn't as good. It was like a tuck box. I ordered like the booklet from someone else. I hand edged like all the cards in black. I wrote like a thank
Wow.
you personally and everything. So it was like a lot of work and everything, but it didn't even compare to like the second edition
Yeah.
because I like rushed it. I was like so excited. I'm like, I want this, I want it out, I want it out. And then once I printed it, there was more like interest in it. And then I'm like, okay, so let me go back. I'm gonna include more cards because like I rushed it, you know, and then this way I can talk to like an actual printer and get what I really want, which is like the book style box, the colored edges, the like ribbon, you know, like all the little details.
What do you mean when you had to hand edge? Like, how do you hand edge cards?
With like an ink pad.
Oh
like,
my God.
Oh, wow.
That's intense.
Yeah.
You're
It
amazing.
was a lot of work.
So did you kickstart or crowdfund that? We're going to get like deeper into the crowdfunding stuff in a bit because we just wrapped our own crowdfunding campaign. So we really want to pick your brain.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We want to pick your brain about your experience with crowdfunding. We're going to get into that in a bit, but I was just curious, did you crowdfund the very first run? Like the, I guess the
first edition?
Yeah, did you crowdfund that?
No, that I only did pre-order for.
Okay.
And then I actually, you can shout them out or tag them if you want, but Reds of Fate, I don't know if you know who they are. They're an Oracle and Tarot producer. They make gorgeous, phenomenal decks. But I reached out to them and talked to Blair, and she basically put me in the direction of like mass printing across seas because I was spending like, I don't know, $9-10 a deck printing the way I was for the first edition compared to like $6, $5, like, you know, doing like hundreds. And I ended up printing like thousands. Like I still have, I think like 400 decks that I'm sitting on.
So that was the game changer.
Of the
that
first
was like
edition?
the key.
No, the second edition.
The second edition. Okay.
Yeah, the first edition only had 100, but when I did the Kickstarter for the second edition, I was like, oh, I want some I can like sit on and sell, but I ordered way too much.
Right.
So was it the first edition Oracle, second edition Oracle, and then the Tarot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
So let's go back to the creation process. So how long did it take you to create the Inner Witch Oracle from conceptualizing it up until you're ready to start crowdfunding? Because you said you didn't crowdfund until the second edition, but I guess how long did it take up until like you have the product and you're ready to print?
Well, that one's a little hard because like the first edition I did and I had all the cards and stuff, and then I just added a couple extra cards from when I did the crowdfunding. So it's kind of hard to get, but I want to say it was at least like a 1.5 to 2 year process of designing, putting things together and like figuring out for like the Kickstarter, who to print through, all the things, because I wanted to include stretch goals, deck enhancements, and like I did all this research. I was looking at people's Kickstarter. I was saving like ideas for like add-ons. I was saving ideas for like goals. So I did a whole bunch of research. I had like a list of things I could offer and like kind of tried to cut it down. So it was a lot of work. But
I bet. Yeah. Do you still have your original like notepad entries of like your concept?
Somewhere. I don't, because I moved since then, but I don't know where.
Were you still working your other job at that time, or oh my gosh?
Yeah, I only left Starbucks last October.
That's right. And you're doing this full time?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
So it was my goal. So I was like, I have the opportunity. My husband said, go for it. And I did.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So how long after you released your Oracle deck did you get the idea to expand to the Inner Witch concept to a traditional 78 card tarot deck?
So as I did like the first edition and I started working on the second edition, I knew I wanted to always create a tarot, but I was so intimidated because I was
huge
new
undertaking
back then, and 78 cards. I'm just like, oh my God. But then I was like thinking my Oracle deck is like 50 or 60 cards, something like that. And I'm like, I'm almost 10 more
cards.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, I just kind of started with the major arcana, you know, everyone does. I always start with the Hermit though. That's like my favorite card. And I like designed those, and then I was like, maybe I won't do like a whole deck because like that's a lot. Maybe I'll just do like the majors and so like a major deck. But then I'm like, I don't even use major only decks because my whole thing is I want to put something out that I want to use, not just make money.
Yeah. But your major arcana is a little different. Your tarot deck's a little different than anything I've ever seen. So you talking earlier about, I want to do something that's not been done before.
Yeah.
This was it.
Yeah, I wanted a witch deck, and I mean there are witchy tarot decks, but I also wanted a deck that didn't really focus on people, because in most decks there's people everywhere, you know, and I wanted to focus on like energy and magic and inclusion and diversity. And so as you see in my tarot, there's like different skin colors, and like when you see like hands and stuff, like you can't really differentiate if it's male, female, he, they, she,
Right, right.
you know.
Yeah.
So that was important, and I wanted something that was like powerful enough to like stimulate your own mind as you're looking at the card, as opposed to like a whole scene. That's why I did like the simple imagery. Plus I wanted it to go along with the oracle deck. Originally I was going to have them have like the same backing, but I just felt that was too much, because mixing 78 cards, like I actually did it recently, mixed an oracle and the tarot together, and it's like super thick. Like,
oh
I
my
can't even
God.
shuffle it.
It's a lot of cards.
Some of your major arcana have different names too.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
Mhm.
What made you decide to change some of them, and which one do you remember which ones you changed? Because I can see a few, but I want to hear from you.
I wanted to change them, like I said, because inclusion, diversity, and also I wanted to make it magical and witchy. So instead of like the Hierophant, which is card 5 in the major arcana, I wanted it to be more about like the knowledge that you gain and the traditions that are within magic, not necessarily religion outside. So that's why I came up with the Book of Shadows and
Yes.
Flash for more. The Hanged One instead of the Hanged Man I did.
It's amazing that like I love how you have the elements incorporated with that, because I don't think everybody knows or uses it this way, that the suits are linked with the elements.
That
So I think
helped
that's
me
really cool.
learn in the beginning a lot with tarot, because I have more knowledge with elemental work in magic. So like utilizing that knowledge into tarot kind of helped with like the suits, because I don't know how many people, myself included, got like swords and wands confused for the longest
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. And along with that, the zodiac that goes, I didn't know that that was the sequence. The cards have a sequence just like our astrological chart does. I think that's so,
Yeah,
so cool.
I think I might have included way too much information in the guidebook, but like I don't know, I love to like teach and share knowledge, you know? So
Yeah. One aspect about your tarot deck that I really love, I'm such like a seasonally driven person. I love how it includes the wheel of the year and all of the
Love it.
signs on the
Yes.
wheel. I love it.
that was a last minute choice actually.
Really?
Good
I was
choice.
thinking
Great
that like,
choice.
well, because I wanted to add extra cards, and I did the spread cards, which is like a staple I do in any deck I do now. Because I don't know, reading a book and trying to like do your spread and then flipping a page to the card, and like that's too much work.
Yeah.
So I wanted to include something special, make it more witchy, you know. So I included like the moon, and then I was like, oh, what else can I do? And then I was like, the wheel of the year. Oh my god! And what's funny is I don't know if I'm going to include it in the next edition.
Really? Why not?
I don't know. It's just like I want to make it special and
Okay.
different. I might make it available as like an add-on, like separate
Oh,
I
okay.
or
like that.
something.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I don't know. I want to change a couple like images and do a couple different things, because I
Right.
want them both on the second edition.
Okay.
Okay.
Very cool. Yeah.
Love putting them on the altar. Love just being able to honor it that way and use. Sent us a little stand that's perfect to have that placed on your altar. You can even put it on your fridge if you don't have altar space, right? I just love it.
Yeah, it's really convenient. It's a nice little reminder and just helping you get into the energy of the season that you're in. I lived out in LA for a little bit, and out there's like no seasons. It's just sunshine
Yes.
all the time. And I was like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going back to the East Coast where
Yeah.
I'm such a seasonal person. Like, do you find yourself really motivated by the seasonal changes? Do you guys have
I do actually.
the
Yeah,
Pacific
because
Northwest, right?
here in Eugene, like we still have like orange leaves, but they're falling a lot right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I really loved after moving here from California and living there for 20 whatever years.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, things are actually like changing. Like their seasons are real. Like
Yeah.
Seasons are real. They're not a
Yeah.
myth.
Yeah.
but I definitely find myself getting in tune with seasons as they come and go.
Yeah.
But I've been paying more attention, and I think I'm more affected by zodiac than
Really?
necessarily season.
Okay.
Because like my husband actually said something the other day, because I told him I was like going through all this stuff. I'm like living out here, he living here. He's like, well, we're in Scorpio season, and I'm like, okay. He's like, just pay attention to that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay. And like, maybe I should journal again and be like, oh, maybe last zodiac season of Scorpio, I was like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
I know anytime that
sense.
I'm feeling like super crazy emotional crying, like hate everything, it's always a Cancer moon. I hate Cancer moons. Jesus Christ. Like, you know, Justina knows. She can pick out a Cancer moon Kristina from a mile away.
Well, yeah, I can't because I am a Cancer moon.
Yeah.
So when I know how I'm feeling and I see it in you, I'm like, ah, fuck, here we go.
Yes. But the fact that with your Sabbath cards, you also include like the symbols in the booklet and the keywords and magic and the correspondences with the tarot cards. Like, I did not know that Yule is associated with the Hermit, the Magician, and the World. Is there like a science behind that you use, or is this something that is personal to you or what you intuitively felt?
It's what I've learned throughout my different tarot practices and throughout different decks. I think specifically it was the Wildwood Tarot.
I love that deck.
They incorporate in the guidebook a lot about like the Wheel of the Year.
Yes.
Love it.
And it also helps like zodiacally. I don't know. Tarot has so many connections that it's like amazing.
Yeah. Which is like where I kind of want to ask the question, because Oracle and Tarot are so different. Like Oracle is just like a free flowing, like whatever you pull, that's the vibe for the day. But like Tarot is like, it's a structure. So
it's like, you in trouble, girl.
Yeah, I want to ask you personally, like, do you enjoy reading the Oracle more or reading the Tarot more? Not just your decks, but just like in general.
I like Tarot more just because Oracle, like you said, is so open.
Yeah.
Okay, here, let me phrase this. I like reading Tarot more because Oracle is so like open and decks are so diverse. But like with Tarot, you can go to any deck and like have like a basic structure of a card, but then expand based on the artist's artwork. There we go.
The imagery and all that, right?
And then creating wise though, I prefer doing an Oracle because Tarot is so structured.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's much more fun probably to just create images that represent a certain feeling or a certain keyword or something. Like I could see.
Yeah, I definitely struggled a bit with the Tarot, specifically the sword suit. I mean, it's my least favorite suit to begin with, but I was like, I don't want to use swords, you know, because every other suit is like something else that I'm incorporating. So I was like, okay, like I can do like incense, birds, and feathers, and like, so I like how that went. You know, I'm pretty happy with it.
Were there other non-practical magic decks that you've created?
I have stuff in the works.
Okay. All right. We'll just leave that there then.
Great. Well, you have a Kickstarter campaign running right now, or did that conclude with the Grimoire decks that you have?
That one already finished. My pre-order is actually open this Friday or on the 17th, whenever this is airing. I don't know.
How long does that go for?
About a month. I'm doing it until like December something.
Okay. This episode is going to come out December 8th. So will it still be running by then?
It's going to be probably like a week and a half after that or so.
Okay,
like
cool.
Mid-December.
Awesome.
I got like my samples already and everything, and I freaking love them. They're so pretty. Like,
oh my god.
And I'm really excited because I made like a box set, but the box set was only for Kickstarter, and I'm trying to do like exclusive things now to make it super special.
Yes.
So people are going to be able to order the decks individually, but not the whole box set, because it came in like this like box sleeve. You know, when you get like a collection of books, it comes in like a sleeve.
I love that.
So the new Kickstarter, well, the most recent one that you just wrapped anyway. So was the Grimoire Oracle, or was it a Tarot?
Yeah.
Is it Oracle?
It's an Oracle. 3 different Oracle decks.
Oh yeah. So you have animals, crystals, and what was the other one?
Herbs.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. It's like a little encyclopedia of tarot decks.
I don't know. It started off, I wanted to do just like the herbs, you know, and stuff like that, because I was digitizing my like Book of Shadows, because I have papers everywhere, you know, and I have my Patreon, and I wanted like an easy one spot reference to like go to. So like as I was doing that, I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to have cards, you know what I mean? So like I started with that, and then I was like, oh, but there's crystal, and I was like, I mix this, and I was like, oh, but there's animals, and then it's like my mind just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
So do you find that your creative process or the creation of your decks, do you find it's more of a means to create your own references for your own like usage, more so like creating for what other people want or need?
Yes. And I think that's like really important too. My whole thing is I'm creating what I can't access or I haven't found. And I'm sure there's other people that feel that way, you know? So like to create something also that's unique and that I personally love will mean so much more going out into the world than just a random deck someone decides to design that doesn't even know tarot or like, you know what I mean?
100%.
Right. That's why we started the podcast, because we were like, why hasn't this been done yet? This is what we want.
We had a problem, we handled it, right?
Yep.
So
Totally.
is your Oracle deck would you say it's based more on the film or the books, or a bit of both, would you say?
So first edition, definitely 100% the film. And then when I expanded with extra cards, I had already started reading the book. So then I incorporated aspects from the book, like the sparrow. People would be like, what the hell is this? That haven't read the book. You know what I mean?
Ah, yeah. We were just talking about that.
And like the firefly with the auras. And yeah, I have other cards I want to include with like the next edition. Like I definitely want to do like a chocolate cake card.
Yeah.
Of like a solar return or something. Like,
yeah.
You
I don't
know,
know.
I'm gonna have that chocolate cake card on my altar all the freaking time. Self-proclaimed chocoholic right here.
Yeah. Awesome.
Actually, I want to reread. I actually started rereading the series. I got her like special gold fancy edged one. I just had to. I don't know. I have like 5 copies of this damn book.
It's okay. It's allowed.
I know. As a result of this podcast, I'm pretty sure me and Kristina combined have like every kind of version, every medium of this book, like digital, hard copy, hardcover, soft cover.
We need to convince Alice to do trade papers of Rules of Magic and the others, because I love pocket paperbacks so much. And there's like, you remember the OG Practical Magic? It's got the blue and there's like a cat on it with the moon.
Kristina has that one.
I have it too.
I keep it in a Ziploc because it's falling apart, and I don't know why. I love this size book. I love this size book. It's falling apart though. But yeah, I bought this I was like 12. Wow. They don't do this anymore. I love that size book.
Yeah, so we need those, Alice Hoffman. We need these paper size pocket.
You don't listen to us. I'm sorry.
No. Kristina, you need to put that thing in a glass case. It's about to disintegrate.
I know. That's why she ran out of that book signing so fast, because she knew Magnolia Street was there. She was like, God, these chicks.
You guys are gonna meet her?
T-shirts.
Yeah. But it's like, I love how it's like yellowed, and it's just, there's just like, come on, Alice.
All right, put that thing back in the bag before it turns to dust. Don't look at it the wrong way. It's
you changed my life. Yeah.
I'm rereading the books because I had another deck idea of a practical magic theme. I wanted to, so you guys have saw like pictures of like the grimoire deck that I did, and it's got like the brown backing, like old aged paper.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. I'm thinking I want to do like a Owens family grimoire and have like similar imagery, and then what's wrong?
We're just Owen
melting.
Oh, okay. But I want to go back through the books and actually use her own references in the books for like the spells, and like, you know, like go through and she's like, oh, blue thread and like the blue sapphire, or you know what I mean? Like I have so many ideas.
Oh my goodness.
I love it. We're on board.
Yeah.
Well, you guys would get advanced reader copies or whatever they're called.
I think that's fantastic. So this would be an Oracle deck?
Awesome.
Okay. Are you still thinking 50 to 60 cards?
Yeah, I don't know how many. It depends on how many ideas, because I have to go through and start writing.
Yes.
And I don't know. I feel like going through digitally would be a lot easier.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, we've noticed like putting together the notes from our different shows, like everything's like categorized, and we're making our own kind of grimoire that everything like from her spells from the books, or like her tea recipes, are kind of all in one place right now, or at least we're starting to. Yeah. So it's kind of nice to have it all in one place. So if you need any information, let us know.
We've done hours and hours of
research on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your spread cards, because you're the first deck creator that I have ever seen include spread cards in with a deck. So what prompted you to
I think I was the first. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I was the first, because I hadn't seen it before either, and now they're everywhere.
You're a trailblazer. So what prompted you to include each spread as your own card in the deck?
So as I was like making the deck, I just was writing the book, and having used Oracle decks, for instance, my main go-to was the Halloween Oracle. And when doing readings and like looking at like the pumpkin spread or whatever, it'd be like in the back of the book, and I'm like, okay, card 1 means da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, what card did I get? And then, like, go through the book, and it just takes away from the whole experience, and like it's a very big disconnect, I feel. So to me, to just have that right there in front of you with all the questions and everything, and you just have to reference the book for your interpretation and not flipping back and forth, makes it a lot easier.
Right.
I agree.
I love your efficiency. As a reader, as a creator, you're
Yes.
It's
creating,
that Virgo.
you're solving problems, man, and
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I
Well, and
appreciate
then
that so
that's why I
much.
did the Grimoire Oracle too, because I figured people can use like the herbs or the crystals for like what they can use for like spell work or like a
Mm-hmm.
reference of like what can I use today for like I don't know to increase my whatever or, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Are these spread cards designed to be shuffled into the deck and possibly pulled for your reading, or how do you personally like to utilize these spread cards?
I typically leave them out,
Right.
but I've seen a lot of people include them in their shuffling, which I really like because when you pull it, it's like a call out, like, hey, do
You
this.
need this.
You need this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to come up with like a deck that's like just spread.
Ooh,
So I
do
have
it.
like all these ideas.
You
Yeah,
gotta start
man.
hiring some help, man.
I know
I
you.
need
How do
like
you
I
do it
need
all?
like social media help, man. I just need to create and I need someone to post and like write
Mhm.
captions for me and like
It is such like a time suck from like actually being a creator and like just focusing on what you're good at. Not everybody is a social media guru. It's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
to be a creative person and then also feel so tied to the grind and the rat race on social media and trying to get your
Mhm.
stuff seen and getting people to interact with your posts and beating the algorithm.
mhm.
How do you navigate all that as a one-man show?
I just kind of go where my energy takes me.
Yeah.
But lately, I've been realizing that's not the best approach
Oh
because
no.
I'm getting burnt out. You know, I'm just
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
Yeah.
The
like
burnout's real.
burnt out mentally, just kind of like, I mean, there's like, I told you about like what, 3 deck ideas already,
Yeah.
and that's just the tip of the iceberg, you know? So it's just, yeah.
Do you feel like there's certain times of year that you feel busier or that there's more inspiration that hits you? Or is it just constant?
Definitely spring is a lot more inspirational just because of all the like flowers around and
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything. I slow down around this time, which makes sense because it's December, the wheel's turning, we're like getting to
Yeah.
the darker half of the
That
year.
hermit
But
energy.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's hard though because like I can't not live out here because I'm telling myself, I'm like, if I don't do anything right now, after I ship out all my decks and stuff, I'm not gonna have anything to like
Mm.
present or like I'm gonna have to work on something else and that's gonna push that further. My husband's like,
Mm.
what are you talking about? Like, just relax.
I know we're like always so amped for like the spring and things coming back to life so we can get
Yes.
back out and be busy again. But like what everybody just like sometimes fails to realize is that hermit energy is just so necessary. Cause
Yeah.
like we have to have that dark period of the year so we can kind of like marinate in our new thoughts and ideas. And like, do you find that like during the hermit time of year, is that when you're most like, I guess, creatively sparked with all these new ideas and it's like you want
Yeah,
to
and
hit the
it's
ground
hard
running in
to
the
like
spring?
direct it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
definitely, and it's a large part that I'm not like embracing that hermit and I'm still like diving into work constantly and not just kind of detaching.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say you had fire in your chart or did you have a fire
No,
sign? No fire. That's crazy. Like you're so creative for such like a no fire in your
I
chart
don't know my
person.
whole chart, but
Okay, so you might have
Yeah.
it somewhere. Yeah.
This time of year, just speaking of like the different productive times of year, like right now going into December, like being in like the height of winter to me is almost like you're doing like the little detail work because spring is so like explosive and you get to do all these big things. But like right now, like I'm thinking of my garden, right? All the time. And it's like I can't freaking do anything right now, but I can plan, I
plan.
can plan out, I can organize my seeds, I can learn about soil microorganisms. But it's those little tiny things like right now your brain is like boom 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 sparking with all of those other oracle ideas. But to me right now is like the little details, the little tiny details as opposed to like the macro of
Mhm.
spring and summer.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Definitely. I need to tap into that.
Yeah.
Before we scoot on about the spreads, I wanted to ask because you credit Meg Watson on your spread. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, Tarot Nerds, they're a huge group on Facebook and Instagram. They create spreads all the time and share them. And I thought, like, how cool would it be to have them collaborate and
Oh,
like
cool.
provide some fun spreads because they had in the past created like I think like a Midnight Margarita spread or
Oh,
something. And I was
fun.
like, oh, I'd love to include this in like so we
Yeah.
like talk. And then I don't know if you guys have the challenge as well. There's there's like a big postcard that's like a print, like a 30-day tarot challenge. And that was put together by Tarot Adventures with Jules.
Okay.
And so she did that, and she included a couple different recipes on the back as well.
Oh, nice.
So I like to collaborate and like give back, and you know.
Speaking of giving back, on your, what was it, your second edition Kickstarter, you had some type of thing like you were involved with planting trees, right?
Yeah, so each Kickstarter I donate, like for every deck is one tree I give back and plant, because I'm using the earth to like cut down and make cards and package.
That's such a good idea.
You know,
That's awesome.
It's like something, you know?
Yeah. I just think it's awesome that like even people who are contribute to your Kickstarter, they're in turn helping, I guess, repopulate the planet with trees.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Was there anybody you collaborated with on that new trio deck? The trio decks that you
I did not. I worked with like my best friend. She was my editor.
Do you want to talk about them a little bit? You can shout them out.
Yeah, she started a soap business now.
Nice.
So I'm really proud of her.
What's her business?
It's called No Nonsense Soap, and
No
she makes unscented soaps and out of different natural elements, natural dyes and stuff. And I don't know what it's called, but she like does writing and editing for like TV shows and stuff. And
wow.
so she offered, and I was like, yeah, please. And so I'm gonna keep using her. But basically we collaborated on like a Pages document, and she would like edit things for me and make sure grammar's all good and spelling. Because me, I'm just like,
totally get that.
Brain vomit, right? Get it all out and then worry about the, fine tuning later on.
Yep.
It was a big help on my plate, honestly, because there's just another added thing to the whole process, and to like hand that over was a lot, but I'm glad I did it.
It sounds like you've kind of condensed who I guess you work with, because it sounds before you had one person printing the books, one person doing the cards, and you doing a ton of stuff. How many people now do you work with?
Originally, the first edition was like I printed the books from someone, and then the boxes and then the cards like were all separate. And then when I launched my Kickstarter, I was more informed, and so printing the decks, they do everything. They do the box, the decks, the guide, like all together for me. And then I reach out to other people for like the wood card holders or like the deck bags and like the cloth. So depending on what I'm making or producing, it's who I talk to. So with each Kickstarter, I'm probably talking to like 5 to 8 different people.
Wow.
At the same time, juggling everything and like figuring out what I want. And because it's hard to, because I got to figure out like pricing, like, okay, how much would like 1,000 of these cost? How much would 500 of these cost? Like, and like figuring that out, especially with like freebies that I'm giving out with like Kickstarters.
Right. So. Let's talk more about the crowdfunding now, because like me and Kristina mentioned before, we just wrapped our first ever crowdfunding experience. So we really want to pick your brain and see what your first crowdfunding experience is like. And you've done a few since, right? I think.
Yeah, I've done 4, I think.
4?
God damn.
So God bless you. Me and Kristina are exhausted after this one. I don't know if we'll ever.
We weren't even doing anything. We were just posting.
But so what made you decide to go the crowdfunding route to, I guess, get it wasn't your first deck, I guess it was your the second edition. What made you want to go the crowdfunding route to, I guess, get it?
Initially it was because when I reached out to like the printers, they had a 500 deck minimum.
Oh geez. Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, I can't afford 500 decks out of my pocket.
Yeah.
So, and then I was like talking to the Threads of Fate people, and they've crowdfunded, and Kickstarter was big back then. And then since then, let me just check. I've backed like hundreds of Kickstarters, I think.
That's incredible.
174 I've backed.
Wow.
So I've like learned through other people and like seeing what they do, but
anybody you knew personally that could like really guide you along the process? Nothing?
No, it was all kind of just research, trial, and kind of seeing. But I went with crowdfunding because of the 500 minimum, and I figured that way I can print the decks, and then have extras to like continue income, speaking out here again.
The big picture.
Yeah. Did you have any fears or reservations about crowdfunding prior to jumping into that? And you said you had no other crowdfunding experience prior to, I guess, doing that, just observing what other people were doing. What were your fears going into all that? It's a scary jump getting into that.
It was. I kind of just feared like it wasn't going to be successful, and then I got funded and I was like, oh my God, like people like, because it's hard putting yourself out there and like seeing if people want to support what you've created. And then to have that enthusiasm and that much much support. I was like, oh my God. And then that's when I ended up making like the stretch goals because I hit my goal. And then I was like, oh, so let's expand it. And so it was exciting. So it kind of kept me going. You know, that's what I like about Kickstarter is like it's a very like community group driven campaign program, you know?
So Kickstarter, we use like a private studio company that's specifically geared toward music, but Kickstarter, is it like a platform where people can like kind of surf and find new creators, or is it just like your stuff is hosted on there and whoever your immediate network of people who you push this out to can see it? Is it just
No, so Kickstarter is just like a basic like website, you know, and then like it has like a search bar and
so people
you
can
can
search
search
your
like
project?
tarot, you can search music, you can search video game, clothing, like, and it just brings up all the campaigns that are related to that.
Okay.
And then when you have an account, it has like this for you category. So like I always see like upcoming tarot and oracle and like video game and anime and stuff. So.
Are you watching anybody right now that is building up their funding?
I was. I actually just backed the Kickstarter this morning.
Oh, nice.
It's the Singala Tarot or something like that. I just love the artwork. It really called to me. But I haven't as lately been kind of like looking at other people because I feel I've kind of honed my setup and layout for my Kickstarter and I don't want to tweak it too much.
Were there other crowdfunding campaign platforms you were looking at, or was Kickstarter like the one that you were like, yeah, that's kind of where
Kickstarter was like the one because everyone I knew like on social media that had decks going as indie creators was using that, but there was also Indiegogo, which I still haven't used.
I've heard of that one too.
I've backed like 2 decks on there. It's just a weird platform. I don't really vibe with it, I guess. Backer Kit is another one. They just actually started doing crowdfunding because before it was just a place for your campaign backers to go finalize their address, pay for shipping, add on any extra items and stuff like that, and it like made it super easy fulfillment process. So like I always use Backer Kit after my Kickstarter, but now they're offering doing campaigns through Backer Kit, and I'm like, so I might just do Kickstarter and Backer Kit.
Okay. So you had no coach at all navigating this crowdfunding campaign world because we didn't know anything about crowdfunding, and if we didn't have Plaid Dog to guide us, I don't think we would have known what the fuck we were
had
doing.
no idea. Yeah.
The only guidance I had was kind of like who to print through.
Okay.
And that was through the Thread the Fate people. And from there I kind of was just on Kickstarter looking at stuff. And the first one I didn't make too much profit. So like it was definitely a learning process.
I was gonna ask, how did you pick like what perks would get, or how did you decide on do you call them stretch goals? Is that what you call them?
Yeah, so like the campaign will like hit funding, and then that means like, oh, this project is greenlit, like the person has the funds to produce what they want. And then after that, like any extra funds either go to the creator or they can incorporate stretch goals, which can be like a free item or like an enhancement to like the project itself, adding foil edges to cards or like increasing the card stock or adding extra cards to the deck, or you know. And like this last one I ended up giving away a wooden card holder and a set of like crystals, like a little mini crystal. It's like to me incentive to back Kickstarter because you can get like freebies.
Oh,
and like
100%.
Yeah. And do you have a prototype at that point? Like you've put your own money into getting like something that like, this is what I'm working on?
I haven't because I'm not that great at budgeting. But usually what I do is I try to incorporate the cost of a sample as well now, because one sample deck, you're gonna bite your tongue, is about $600 to $700 sample printing.
Dang.
Whoa.
And that's because like personally, like they offer to like print one and send you videos and like pictures, but I am so like nitpicky. I'm like, I have to see it, I have to make sure everything's correct. And I learned this the hard way because the Kickstarter for my tarot deck, I ordered the samples to like look at, even though it costs a whole bunch. And with the deck, there's like it's called Spot UV, and it's like kind of glossy when you move it, and that was like offset from the actual printing.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, oh my God. And like, if I didn't get that, I wouldn't have seen that. And like, I would have been printing hundreds of these, like, you know,
you have to hold it.
It's worth it.
So it's worth it in the end. So do you factor the cost? So did you just say you factored the cost of the sample deck into your, I guess, your
campaign
goal? Into your campaign goal?
I try
that's
to now,
smart. Yeah. I guess you learn as you go. Like, you know, everything's a trial and error process.
And I mean, I digitally make like mock-ups of like what they'll look like and stuff like that. And I mean, I make the cards already, so like people see what the deck looks like and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot to like front to get a sample, so I rather like wait until like I know it's gonna happen, and then like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's worth it in the long run to see that your product is exactly how you want it before you, like you said, you create thousands of these decks, then I guess in the long run it's better to pay the extra money to make sure it's perfect.
Yeah. I need to know like your organization, like files on your computer, because I'm like, you're Virgo. I cannot imagine how you keep all of that straight. It's just incredible.
I don't know. I just do. I do have like a separate like file though that I have like for Kickstarter, a breakdown of like what I want to do for a campaign of like, oh, this is how much the thing's gonna cost, this is how much shipping is gonna. So I like break it down and I have like a layout and like, oh, stretch goal ideas and stuff like that.
Do you just use like Google Sheets, or what do you like to use to get that stuff organized?
I have a Mac, so I use Pages.
Is that what you use to help you with the budgeting? Is there like any kind of software you use to help you with that kind of stuff?
I use numbers for that. It's like Excel.
Okay.
Because then I'm like, oh, decks will cost like 13,000 and wraps will cost like 2,500, and you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want to do the math. You can do it.
Yeah. that was our next question, is like, how do you determine what that goal needs to be? And has that changed, I guess, between the second edition and like the tarot? I guess because there's more cards, it would fluctuate, right?
Yeah, it definitely adjusts like printing wise, like cost, because you have to think of like the card stock you're going to use, if it's going to be like a thicker one or a thinner one, what kind of box you're going to have, how many pages your guidebook's going to be, and like if the cards are edged, like all these little things. So when I asked the printer, I'm like, okay, so I want to make a deck. It's going to be 60 cards. I want 350 GSM, which is like the card stock. And then I'm like, can you please break this down, like a base printing, and then how much it'll be for like this card stock, how much for like this book box, how much for this guidebook, you know, just to see how much everything costs. And then from there, stretch goals can be like, oh, 3,000 over the goal, we can enhance the deck to include a box that's like sturdier, or like, you know.
Oh, nice.
But
yeah.
It is hard to estimate all the time, just because like shipping costs from overseas and all that.
I'm sure it helps just having your options presented, just so you can kind of make those informed decisions.
It sounds like they work with you pretty well too.
Yeah.
And
I use AliExpress.
Okay.
And that's who I usually search through. I'm like, oh, like if I want to, like recently I just made a divination coin, like a gold plated coin, and like I designed it and everything. And it was one of the stretch goals on the Kickstarter, but we didn't reach it. And a couple of people messaged after and they're like, oh, like, can you like make it available? Like, we still want it. And then so I reached out to the person and I paid for a sample, which was only like 40 bucks. But I got it and I freaking love it. And I'm offering it now with the pre-orders, you know. So talking with them, I'm like, oh, well, how much would it like 100 of these cost? And like, so they are very like helpful, but I just searched gold coin and kind of look through and something similar to what I wanted, and then like talk to them and told them like the specifics that I wanted.
Is that the same thing you do for, because you have enamel pins too? Would that be the same? What kind of, you just Google and price match?
So for the pins, I used like 2 different people, and then now I have just like the same person I go to.
Cool.
But I haven't made pins in a while because I don't know, I feel like they're not really popular, they're not moving much, so I love a pin. Designed more.
I love my pins too. All of mine, I know Kristina puts hers in her car visor, but all of mine are on my little totes, my craft totes. You see all my pins?
Oh, cool.
That's where I put all my pins. I'm afraid of losing them, so it's where I know they're never gonna leave my house.
I know, I think it was I Heart Practical Magic, they have like a frame with like felt or something.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm like, oh, I can do that, you know.
But when we were wandering around Salem, there were these backpacks, like coffin backpacks with bat wings, but they have like the clear plastic so they can put their pins in it and they never fall out. I'm like, that's so cute.
That was very cute.
Yeah.
I think it was Black Craft Colts or Black Cold Craft that sells those coffin
That sounds
backpacks.
Familiar.
Yeah.
So cute.
We're gonna have to get you to Salem next year, Joseph.
Oh my God.
I know.
Get you to Salem next year.
It looks so much fun.
Such a good time. It's so much fun. I hope we get to do that again next year. That was really awesome. Let's talk more about crowdfunding, because like seriously, this is a rabbit hole. You said you've done 4 campaigns, give or take. So how often do you run these campaigns, and how much time do you typically like to wait between campaigns so you don't fatigue your audience? And is it typically all the same people usually that are funding all of your decks, or do you find different people kind of like trickling in and out like a revolving door? Like what's...
So on BackerKit, it actually tells me, it has like a breakdown because I've used it for all my campaigns. And so like it says like how many people have repeated twice, how many people have repeated 3 times, and how many people this is their like 4th time. So it shows me that some people are like coming back and repeating.
Nice.
So there's that. Typically I would go like 30 days because that's kind of what I've experienced in the past. But this last campaign, I only did 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
21 days. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I just felt it is a lot of work. It's exhausting to do like a whole campaign because you have to build a campaign page, you have to update your Kickstarter backers, you have to create hype, you have to make posts, you have to do content, you know, so it's like a lot, and that's like every day.
Yeah.
So like I decided, oh well, maybe it'll be easier to do like a shorter period of time. It'll also force people to be like, either you want it or you don't, like
Yes. Yeah.
you know. So I went with 3 weeks this time, and a couple of people said it was too fast. So I'm still like, I don't know. 30 days
But
is a long time.
But is it? Like, do you want this?
Too fast for them or too fast for
Right?
you? Like, you're actually, like, you're utilizing your time well. Like, people, you either want it or you don't.
And
Hit
I
or
feel
get off
like
the
3
pot.
weeks is a good, it's like you're either in between 2 pay periods or you're getting paid once. Like, I don't know. But it's also time because after that I have to like make sure all the files and everything are good, send them to the printer, wait for printing, get the decks, ship them out. That takes another like 3 to 4 months, you know?
Process.
So I have to plan that. But I try to do a Kickstarter like once a year, maybe once every year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Like you're saying, like don't fatigue my audience. I'm also like worried about like if I am finishing a Kickstarter and like it's getting produced, I don't want to like pop up another one and be like, okay, well get me this. Like
Right.
you know, it's more than just like, I'm not like money hungry is the thing. I'm more about like producing something I want to come out in the world in a genuine product, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like trying to constantly create so that there's not like a big gap between creation because I have so many ideas. I'm like, I don't want to be making decks for 20 years until like all my ideas are done. You know what I mean? Like,
you got to pace yourself too, you know, not just your audience.
I've been trying to do multiple deck campaigns. The next one will probably be like a 2nd edition of the Proctor Magic Tarot. And I want to offer like travel size editions of the Tarot and Oracle. So that's like 3 decks in one campaign, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I love a travel size.
So,
do you typically find that it's easier to push a multi-deck campaign than like a singular deck?
I think it depends on like pricing because it's 3 decks. I tried to keep it semi cheap for people that were backing it on Kickstarter because for the box set I only charged like $120 for like first backers on Kickstarter, and that breaks down to like $40 a deck when they're going to be retailing at like $60.
And on top of that, they probably get all the extra stuff, right? Because when you meet a stretch goal, they get all those extra goodies, which I think makes it even more worth it, in my opinion. That's really
that's what I like about Kickstarter too, is because it creates fun, and not everyone does like exciting stretch goals and stuff, you know, but like it's fun.
Good.
You genuinely find joy in running these campaigns.
That's incredible.
That's important.
Well, because it's also like fulfilling. Like me and my friend that edited the guidebook on this last one, we have this like running tradition now that we'll each watch the campaign launch for like a few hours and like just be on the phone together and like so like, oh my God, it went up.
That's so sweet.
Oh my God, it went up. Like, you know, it's fulfilling to see people like support your dreams, you know?
For sure. That's how Justina and I were with the music. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe people want to support this bullshit.
It's crazy to see like the people that we haven't even talked to in years coming out of the woodwork being like, wait, you're working on something new? Yeah, I want to be a part. Like, yeah, take my money. And it's just like, what? It blows my mind that like, and then 2 days before our campaign ends, we slid into home plate, and that was just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Right?
On Halloween. Amazing.
On Halloween, yeah. Couldn't have worked out more perfect.
Well, that is like the stressful thing too, is like waiting for it to fund.
Yeah.
So that's what I take into consideration when I'm doing my campaign building and pricing, is I like break down like, okay, so if I charge this much for this and there's this many people available, that's going to make this much towards my goal.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of math.
Like, sounds like it.
Like my thing is like, I want to be funded like quickly.
Yeah.
So like if I make a goal lower, just like playing with the math wise of like a pledge amount, and I can see like how fast I'm more willing to get funded, I guess. For instance, like are 200 people willing to spend $40 or like 300 people willing to spend $30, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. So on Kickstarter, if you don't meet your goal, does that money go back to all of the donors, or do you just use the pot that you have to create something a little more lower budget?
The funds get returned because only if it's like fully funded is the project greenlit and
Wow.
going
Okay.
forward.
Got it. Man, so you really have to like grind your gears trying to get those last minute donations in.
Well, it's also frustrating too because like people drop pledges too, and you don't get charged right when you pledge. You get
Right.
charged the last day of the campaign.
Okay.
So
Oh,
like you have all that time to decide like, oh, I don't want it anymore, or like I don't have money, or
wow.
like, which I understand, but you get excited because then you like
The
hit your
money's
goal,
there. You can
and
see
then
it.
like the next day you look at like 10 people, not 10, but like a few people drop, and then you're like, wait a minute, like
Sucks.
you know,
That
so
does suck.
Like I wonder
but it
why they
happens in
changed their
campaigns
mind.
a lot.
That sucks.
I want to know what your typical work day is. Do you give yourself, I'm going to work from this time to this time, or do you just go until you're done?
Do you have a schedule?
It's so funny that you say that.
Oh no.
I really want to start utilizing a schedule.
Uh-huh.
So my typical day, let's see. I wake up between 6 and 7. I take a shower, and then I take the dog out for a walk. And then I come in and make my coffee. And then I'll like either watch TV for a little bit or read for a little bit.
Nice.
And then I try to dive into work.
Mhm.
It doesn't always work like that though. I kind of go into work when I'm like inspired or like I feel it or I know I need to do something.
Mhm.
So I work for a bit and then usually like around 10, I'll stop. My husband will wake up and then I'll make his lunch and
Nice.
then take the dog out again and take like a little break. And then I'll either like go back to work, take a nap, clean the house or something.
Yeah.
And then usually around like 5 or 6 p.m., I'll like go back into work for a little bit for some reason. Or there's days that I work from like 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m. and I'm like, oh, I need to eat.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like hit or miss.
Right.
Mhm.
That's the thing about that creative lifestyle, man. Like you make your own hours, you do it when you're inspired, but then sometimes you just don't know how to stop. Like, do you ever find yourself burning the midnight oil and you're like, all right, I need to go
Oh,
the fuck
yeah.
to bed?
Oh yeah, it's really hard for me too because like I try to take a bath to like relax and like slow down, and I'm in there and I'm like, deck
Yeah.
idea. Oh, I need to post this on Patreon. Oh, I should do this. Oh, I need to do
Yeah.
this deck review.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, oh my god,
Like you're
stop.
supposed to be relaxing. Stop thinking about work, right?
That's phenomenal.
I could totally see that.
But I do definitely,
totally
I've been
guilty of
trying to like do research on like how to become like more organized. Because at Starbucks, when I worked there for like 7 years, we had like a routine. It was like the first hour you were like setting up, and then at this time to this time you're doing this, and this time to this time you're doing this. So I want to like kind of go from 9 to 11, I'll work on like Patreon content or something, and
Yeah.
take a break, and then for like an hour I'll work on like a deck, and then for an hour I'll work on like that. But I don't know, I follow the creativity, and I feel like
Yeah.
if I try to confine it, it's gonna.
Could you make a bigger confinement? Maybe like Monday is for reviews, Tuesday is for
Patreon.
There
Yeah,
you
like
go.
I don't know if you can work it that way, if that gives you a little more wiggle room.
Yeah, because I right now, like for instance, the other day I was like working and I'm like, oh, working on a Patreon post for like 30 minutes. And then I went over and started working on a deck. And then I went over and started working on like an Instagram post. And I started working on a review. And then I went back and I'm just like, what the
It is hard to kind of stay focused, especially when like you're doing everything yourself. You know, some things take priority, some things don't as much. Is it hard to kind of figure out what is the priority, what needs to be taken care of?
Yeah, and I think this conversation has actually helped because lately I've been creating for others. And I think that's the issue is I'm not creating for myself anymore. I'm creating for what I think other people want.
Right.
And that's why I have like all these ideas. I'm like, oh, people want to learn about this. People want to learn about this. I should do this. I should do this. I should do what I want. And it'll come out better and more genuine. And yeah. So,
What does Grounded by the Moon want?
And actually right now it's a self-care deck.
Oh, I love
I
that.
love that. Yeah. Yeah. You should definitely make a self-care deck. I would totally eat that right up. I think we could all use a little bit of self-care. Yeah.
Go on a walk. Like, journal your dreams. Or I don't know.
The mint oatmeal shaving cream.
Ooh. I think it's the one thing that we like neglect the most, but we
That's
all,
right.
we all need the
Sorry,
most.
I had to take a note.
He's
Oh my
like,
God,
gotta
I need
write.
to-
He's writing notes. I have to remind myself.
Well, I'm making Yule/Christmas gifts this year, and mint shaving. It's funny, before all my magic and stuff, I was making a whole bunch of like home bath and body stuff. So I made like lotion, I made chapstick, I made shampoo, deodorant, like all this
Wow.
stuff, like all natural.
Yeah.
And like I just recently started kind of like diving back into that and like made bath bombs and stuff. So I'm gonna try to maybe like incorporate like a bath and body aspect back into
Yes.
like my craft and maybe into my shop.
Yes,
And
Sally
like
Owens. Yes.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm like, oh, I can make the shaving, but I wanted to send out the stuff for Christmas first and get like feedback before I'm just like,
Right.
buy this,
Yeah.
like. But
That's
yeah,
amazing.
I'm making like
Good.
beard oil and like rose oil and like
Oh,
all this.
yes, please.
I was actually going to ask you, like, when do you find the time to fit in like your spiritual practice and the witchy side about you? Like, what? So, is it like your lotions and potions and all like the oils and candles you create that you consider that's like your magical practice, or is there stuff like you do outside of that? And when do you make the time for that?
So both, and I am really bad at making time because to me that's my self-care is my magic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been neglecting so bad. Even like simple things I can do each day, just like taking a bath or like pulling a card. I try to incorporate it, but it doesn't always work,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I do find that I made those ancestor candles like a month ago, and like making those, I was like, oh my God, like this is what I need to do. Like I need
You
to
feel
like
witchy as
craft
shit,
again.
don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I ended up buying candle molds and like I made like a pillar candle for like I had this altar blend and I was like I want like a candle for my altar and like it's a little flimsy because it's all soy, so I bought some beeswax to mix it. So like I'm already like crafting and like thinking, and like my friend has a wedding and she asked me to make candles for her, so like it's just
Oh my gosh. You're so like tactile. Like you have these decks and they're beautiful, but that's like a mental process almost. I know you're doing the illustrating in the computer, but like your energy in those candles and in the oils and stuff is so special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess while we're on that topic, yeah, we wanted to know more about your candles. So your process is magical in and of itself. You work with the moon phases to create the candles. Can you tell us a little bit about how you use the moon
Yeah,
phase
I
to create those?
typically only make candles for like full or new moon.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
like for the practical magic pen, it's like a full moon because it's all that full energy. For like my Almas Veritas, which is like the self-love, and then the ancestors, those are both like new moons because it's like dark, new beginnings, new
Mhm.
connections. So like that's how I kind of incorporate it. I either make it the day of before or after.
Mhm.
And then I also let it cure like under the moonlight, like in my office. Because my office like has like a view here. And then I can see the moon out of there sometimes. So
Oh,
Oh,
like
I
I let
love
my friends
that.
with the plants, it's
my
beautiful.
Yeah.
dead plant.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, you have all of these creations, like your candles that you're putting together, they are contained to your studio, or do you make them in the kitchen, or how do you do that?
Oh, I craft in the kitchen. I consider myself like kind of a kitchen wife. So I like to make stuff in the kitchen. I thought I was so weird for the longest time. I melt my wax in the microwave in
Okay.
a big like Pyrex thing. And like I thought I was like being weird or like ingenuitive and like I don't know. It's easier that way.
You're a modern
And
witch.
yeah, and then so I saw on TikTok someone was doing that, and I was like, oh, I guess this is like a thing. But I melt it in the microwave, but then that's when the magic happens. It's like it sits there, I let it cool, I kind of like focus on the oil, put my energies in it, and then I start dropping in my essential oils because I only use essential oils. I will not use fragrance oils
Mm-hmm.
because essential oils are incorporated with the plants,
Mhm.
and I utilize the plant's magic in my blends.
Right.
Love it.
So like doing that, focusing on that, harnessing that, and I pour them and then I let them cure. And I
Yeah.
always like to label them with the date, so I
Yes.
know.
And the sign, do
Yes.
you
But I
label
want to
it with
make
the
bigger
sign
candles.
that the moon is in when you pour them?
I was circling like the one that it was in. I don't know if I did it on or put an X or something.
Yeah.
Ours was February 13th. Change the light of the moon.
Do you say any like incantations or any kind of like verbal words over the candles, or like is there?
Definitely, it's not always the same,
Yeah.
but it's around the same like kind of mantra,
Yeah.
just kind of like provide this wax with healing, self-connection. And then as I'm using the oils is more kind of like rosemary, help purify, help calm, kind of like letting the herbs and oils know what they're doing.
Yeah. What are your favorite kind of essential oils to incorporate?
Well, my favorite is sandalwood, hands down. It's like, it's my favorite. And my favorite blend is like sandalwood and lavender.
That's lovely.
It's just
so
like,
grounding.
yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Does every one of your candles end up a little bit different, or do you have like precise, like I put this amount in this, or you have like a recipe basically that you stick to?
So I do have like a blend recipe that I have. I actually need to digitize them. They're all just like little papers in like a Ziploc bag in my right now.
They're safe.
But
yeah,
for instance, like the practical magic is like, oh, I have like 5 drops of lavender, 4 drops of rosemary, like, you know, and then I utilize that, but I upscale it because those recipes started off in my sprays.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know, but I have the oil sprays and I have like the practical magic on it. So those are the blends that I'm using in my candles. But I just like upscale the amount of oil because it's in, and I do the oils in one big pot. So it's all one thing mixed together and then I pour it into the not like each candle has its drops. It's like a big mixture.
How many can you do at once?
Yeah, from one batch.
Well, I use like a 2-cup, is it 2 cups? 2 or 3 cups, like big Pyrex thing. And that's usually about like 15, I think, candles or so.
Because these are tiny enough jars. I'm sure you can get a lot out of the 2 cups with these little jars, right?
Yeah, because they're like 4-ounce jars.
Right. They're so tiny.
I feel like we're tiring Joseph.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
We're nailing it with
We're a little long-winded.
I want to incorporate trying to make like pillar candles maybe instead of just like jarred candles. And like expanding and seeing how that goes. But I've also made herbal teas in the jar.
Cool.
Yeah. I just love smelling tea. I love going into like a tea shop and just smelling all the teas.
What's your favorite go-to tea?
I like jasmine.
Ooh, me too. I love a florally tea.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's Mountain Rose Herbs. They have just like this jasmine. It's just like jasmine tea, like straight jasmine. And I'm like, this just tastes so good, and it's like relaxing. And
let me see a
shirt.
Oh my God! Where did you get that from?
It's a Practical Magic shirt, but I got it from Amazon. I was just randomly searching Practical Magic, and I was like, I need a shirt. I don't have a fucking shirt. And so like I found it.
I love how you wore that
like,
for today.
I made sure to wear it today.
Nice.
We gotta send him one of our shirts just
yeah.
What size are you?
I need to buy one. You guys have hoodies, right?
Yes,
we got hoodies.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a hoodie from you guys with your season info
when I get paid. Send you a thank you, but we gotta get back on track. Justina, where are we in our?
I don't know. We're just kind of like rapid firing.
We're just hanging out.
I think we're just shooting the shit at this point, which is like these questions are here just as a guide, you know. But like we just enjoy talking to you and just picking your brain about random stuff. But I want to talk about Alice Hoffman because
that's where I was gonna go because
you mentioned you sent Alice your deck. So tell our listeners about that experience. Were you nervous to send her your deck, and what was her reaction when she received it?
Oh my God. So I was beyond nervous, you know, because like you're using somebody's like own creation that was inspiring you to do like, so it's kind of nerve-wracking, you know? But I saw that she was on there and like I messaged her about it and she said it sounded neat and like I got her shipping info. And so like I sent her a copy. And then she like wrote back and she's like, this is so beautiful. And I was like, oh my God. And then she's like, thank you so much. And like, that was kind of it. But like, it was like the best thing. And then I tried to send her the tarot when it came out, but it got returned to me because I guess she moved or something. Yeah, that's what it was. So I sent her a copy of the deck and she messaged me and was like, oh, I got your deck, but it was the wrong address, but it still found its way to me. That's what it was. And I was like, what? And then so I tried to send the tarot, but the same thing didn't happen.
Wait, so how did you
I was like, that's magic.
How did you manage to get her shipping information?
She messaged it to me. I don't know. And maybe it's like a published person on mine or whatever. But I had it and then I sent it. And then that's when she's like, oh, it was the wrong address, but like I still got it. And I was like, oh my God. And then I did the tarot and I sent it to the same address, but it came back to me. And I was like, damn. And I tried to ask, but she didn't give me an address again.
Oh
Me
man.
and Christina are convinced that we're talking to her publicist on her Instagram because, like, you know, we've corresponded with her. You know, she's got the blue check mark, so we know it's her page, but we don't know if it's her that we're talking to.
See, this is my thing nowadays. Is like I've been noticing, like, for instance, there's this girl like Teresa Reed, the tarot lady, and she's like super active, but I think like all her posts are like her publicist people.
Hmm.
And like it's kind of like upset. I mean, I'm not saying it is, it probably isn't. I don't know. But
Yeah.
like half the time, like these people are so busy that they have other people doing this for them. And
Right.
like especially like famous people, if you think about it, like celebrities and stuff, they're not like on their phones like posting stuff. They have people
Right.
that are with them all the time, taking a picture and being like, oh, this is a good like their
Right.
publicist.
Right.
You know, so like
Right.
that's why I'm like, I don't know if it's like really Alice.
So you're not sure if it was really her that responded, like, I got your deck, it's beautiful, like.
Well,
it was her?
I don't know. I feel like that was her because it was
Yeah.
also a couple years ago. But I mean, why would a random person be like, I
Yeah,
don't
that had
know.
to have been. That had to
I
have
think it was her. I think that was her. Whether
It
or not the
was.
shipping
It was.
information was her or her publicist, I think her reaction to him was definitely her.
For sure. Me and Christina have been trying to send some of our music her way, but she's been dodging every single one of our
Yeah.
messages.
I've read online somewhere about like trying to find like who their publisher is and
Yeah.
then like reaching out to the publisher to send stuff to the publisher, forwarding it to the author.
Or just
Okay.
asking,
That
hey,
makes
where
sense.
where do you get fan mail? Can we
Right.
send you?
Yeah.
I think we should send her one of our booklets, like our digital, like a little Magnolia Street package and like a little thing with our song on it and see if
Yeah.
she
I can
says
forward you
anything.
guys what I have. I don't know if it'll, I mean, you can try it.
Hey, maybe
It's
it'll
worth
find
a
us.
shot. I'm blowing up Alice and
You
Justina's like,
are.
stop.
I'm like, I don't want to annoy this poor woman. And more than we already have. Started
Yeah.
a whole podcast and talk about our
Mhm.
other episode, but
I don't like, she
keep
doesn't
tagging
really
her.
respond. She just likes stuff or sends a heart
Does.
now.
She reposts a lot of people's stuff and she loves
hmm
seeing what other people create with her
But now
story.
you're like making me think like, is that her? Or is that her publicist reposting things because it's practical magic things?
Right.
Right.
I don't know. We'll never know. But I wanted to ask you, if you could spend a day with Alice Hoffman, what would that day consist of?
Tea for one.
100%.
Lavender cake. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be like kind of like the ants, you know, just sitting,
Yes.
drinking tea, talking. I would definitely be prying and being like, I want to know as much as I can about Vincent. Like, just
Are we
give
gonna
me
get
the
a
whole
Vincent story or
Are we
what?
gonna get a book?
I want it so
I
bad.
love that book. I think a lot of people want that book.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you read all 4 books?
So I'm rereading them again before I read the last one.
Okay.
Because I wanted like a big refresher, you
Yeah.
know, and I also like I keep putting off the last one because it's the last one.
Yeah.
And like I did start the audiobook though, and like an hour or so I was like, this is super sad. Like I don't like I can't even like
The beginning is very
yeah.
sad.
So
Of,
I'm like, I don't want to
Book of
like,
Magic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hope we haven't given, I mean, we give everything away on our show when we know you're
oh, you're
super
fine.
busy.
You're fine.
But it's just different. With every book, she just seems to up the magic, the not so practical side of the magic, which is fine. Vincent's fine.
Don't spoil anything.
I'm not spoiling anything. He continues on.
We're not
That's
gonna.
all I'm saying.
We're no more spoilers, but yeah.
I know, I just keep putting out because I'm like, I don't want it to end. Like, you know what I mean? Because like,
Yeah.
then it's done. Like, and so I'm like, I keep putting it off. I keep putting it off. But then,
Well-
like I said, I listened to the audio and I was like, this is sad. And then I'm like, I'm just gonna start them over.
Speaking of like continuing though, have you heard of our theory of the Titanic meshing with the practical magic world?
No.
This
Have
is
you gotten that
ridiculous.
far?
Do we want to
It's
go
so
down
crazy.
this?
Okay, we won't go
rabbit
too
hole?
deep into it, but it's like we're continuing the story, but somehow Titanic and practical magic, it just works.
Yeah.
You'll have to just keep listening.
Billy Zane made it his way onto our very first episode, and since he's became this like running thread through all of our episodes, and then we eventually went down this whole Titanic rabbit hole about how Rose DeWitt Bucator is a long lost Owens woman. I don't know how we landed at that. Listen to our what episode was it? Our bullshit episode, our bullshit sode. We did like a whole fan fiction AI fan fiction generated.
Yeah.
You know what I just thought? She can be like a descendant of Faith. Because wasn't Faith a
Yeah.
redhead?
We were thinking that, you know how like we have Isabel Owens in the house, and then we have Franny, and then we have somebody else. But before that, you know, there's been Owens women in and out of that house, but has that house ever been vacant for a while? And our thought was, what if Rose was going to the US because she inherited the house.
Yeah.
And she was the Owens woman, and like the red hair is, of course, in their family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
I think you could pitch this to Alice and she can make another book.
And the heart of the ocean, which is the
sapphire
sapphire
that she inherited from Maria.
Look at Joseph's head just
my
exploded. He's like, what? Mind blown. I'm telling you, it checks. It checks. It checks.
It does.
Yeah. There's so many
we're continuing the story. It can ever be forever evolving.
Yeah.
I'm
won't
gonna
let
have
you
to tell
down.
my friend this. This is amazing.
In our minds, the worlds cross.
Yeah.
They cross for
It
sure.
was either, episode 28.
Yeah.
Or didn't we do some in Lilac? I can't even remember
Yeah,
now.
I think it was part of the Lilac episode. We did some fan fiction. Yeah, check out
Bananas.
some of our fan fiction episodes. They're wild and they'll take you down rabbit holes you didn't expect.
Yeah, Billy Zane is a time jumper.
Crazy.
Good
So,
Lord.
have you read any Alice Hoffman books not in the Practical Magic series? And if so, which ones?
I have not, but I do have a copy of Blackbird something.
Blackbird House?
House, maybe.
House, yeah.
I think there's a boot on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another boot. She loves her boots on the cover.
Yeah, in front of
Yeah.
like a fireplace.
I think so.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet though. I don't know. I just Practical Magic.
I know. It's hard to read anything else. She did just release The Invisible Hour, which me and Kristina
Mhm.
actually got a copy with the ticket. We just saw her do a panel when we were up in Salem. We were super disappointed, by the way, that she did not come out and meet her guests and do
We're
signing.
not bitter or
Not
anything.
salty or anything, but we wanted to meet her so bad. But The Invisible Hour, I think, I don't know, I haven't started it yet, but I think it's about this woman falls in love with Nathaniel Hawthorne, who is the writer of House of Seven Gables, who is also related to John Hathorne. So that's a connection to the
Practical Magic.
lesson. So it is in essence kind of like a Practical Magic connection. So I don't know if you wanted to dive into The Invisible Hour. Kind of has a connection, a distant connection, but a connection nonetheless. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I might check it out. And I did see the Bookstore Sisters, I think, and it was like a short story.
Yeah, it was cute. I read it. It's very Alice. It's very easy read. It takes the afternoon. It's so, the siblings and the love interest. And I think there's like a younger character, kind of like a Kylie character. It's
Okay.
cute. It gives you the whimsies.
I love the
Okay.
whimsies. I love the whimsies. Give me
Good.
all the whimsies.
Yeah. Justina, do you want to talk any more about his other products?
I feel like we hit a lot of these other topics. We could
Yes.
probably go to our break now.
All right, we're going to take a quick break right now. And when we come back, we're going to do a card pull from the Inner Witch Oracle created by our guest of honor, Joseph, of Grounded by the Moon.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have some even more fun with these decks. Joseph is going to tell us a little bit about all of the card spreads in his decks, how to utilize them, and he's going to give us a personalized reading right here on the air. No pressure, Joseph, to give us a reading. All this and more. So stay there. We'll be right back. Hey, little witches! The Stinas here. If you've been listening to our podcast for a while, you would know how much we love using the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle deck by Grounded by the Moon.
And now we want to share the magic of Grounded by the Moon with you, our listeners. Joseph Benitez-Egerton, the creator behind Grounded by the Moon, would like to offer this very special 10% off discount to all who wish to experience the magic of his Practical Magic themed tarot and oracle decks.
But that's not all. He also creates other divination tools like tarot workbooks, deck bags and altar cloths, pendulum kits, oil blends, cleansing sprays, smoke wands, teas, and ritual kits.
And let's not forget about his custom handcrafted all-natural soy candles, where every candle is hand-poured and personally infused and charged under the light of the moon. They even come with a crystal.
And did we mention all of the ingredients in the candles are ethically sourced?
All of Joseph's offerings are just so magical. So go visit groundedbythemoon.com and use the coupon code Magnolia Magic for 10% off your entire order at checkout.
That's MAGNOLIA MAGIC. So get your discount today. We're back.
We're back with Joseph Benitez-Egerton. Did I get it?
Yes.
Oh, we got to re-record our ad then because I got it wrong in the ad and I'm so sorry. It must irk. It would bother. I'm like, that's just my name now, I guess. He's from Grounded by the Moon. And this segment, we're going to do our little card pull from his beautiful deck, the Inner Witch Oracle. So we're going to shuffle up a guess. And as the deck creator, we're going to give Joseph the honor of interpreting our card pull. If you would like to do the card pull yourself for us today, we would be honored.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yay!
All
This is
right,
like
so I have
a
a
milestone.
Excited. I'm so excited.
Alrighty, I think I feel called to do like a 3 card pull. So,
Beautiful.
all right, listeners and Stinas, yourself, feel free. Close your eyes. We're gonna be taking some deep breaths, just kind of focus, get our energy cleared out. Deep breath in, and deep breath out. And one last big deep breath in, and a deep breath out.
I like this. We never take the time to ground and center. It's always just bam, bam, bam on the show, right?
Let's start doing that.
Yeah, I like that.
Alrighty, so we have our 3 card pool. Today we have pulled the fire element, tea, and resurrection.
Oh.
Today's reading is all about learning to take the action that needs to be taken. Fire element is all about harnessing that internal flame and utilizing it to ignite your passions, your creativity, and your endurance. Currently, there seems to be like a disconnect from where you're getting your information and resources on how to direct all that energy. Therefore, the tea is telling you that you need to slow down and tap into your inner wisdom. You need to let your thoughts steep and come to fruition before taking any action. Without doing these necessary steps of slowing down, letting your stuff steep, and relaxing, you're going to be causing a state of recklessness, chaotic energy, and an unbalanced aura and thought perspective. These actions will make big consequences that you're not ready to handle. So be aware of what you want to put out by letting your thoughts steep before taking action.
Okay. I feel like you and Justina like collaborated on this because this is exactly what we were saying is like you're always
this is like what we were just talking about earlier.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Especially with our music and wanting to share it and wanting to get it out there, especially wanting Alice to hear it. But also we have to be careful. Is what we're doing allowed? Are we doing it the right way? Are we not stepping on anybody's toes? Like you said, we don't want to have those huge consequences.
For sure.
Yep.
The bottom card, we'll go a step further. It's like the blockage or hidden energy is divination beyond the veil. So like even more listening to the messages that come through the outside and not necessarily just diving into your own thoughts, but also tapping into like the divine and maybe pulling some cards or working with some runes, doing a tea reading, some sort of other divination to help you slow down and take that advice.
I love that. I haven't done any divination since probably Beltane.
Together anyway, like we haven't really done it, but like I love the tea, synonymous with that slowing down and taking that sip and like using that kind of divination. Tea is such a perfect tea leaf reading anyway, such a perfect slow down, relax kind of divination because you actually have to take the time to sip the tea and enjoy the cup before you can even get to the leaves to be able to read or do a reading. So I really like that analogy.
And the fire element is incorporated because you have to heat up your tea so that it can steep.
Exactly.
Perfect.
I love that.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
I'm honored.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about your spread creation process because you have, like I said before, you're the first person I have ever seen incorporate actual spread cards. So can you tell us a little bit about your process for coming up with these different spreads? How do you even conceptualize how to create such different and creative spreads for your decks?
I originally started making spreads because, as I said before, like what I wanted, I couldn't really exactly find, or I was overwhelmed in what I found. So I originally started with just like the full moon, new moon, and the elements. And like those are the spreads that I created because I wanted something to connect with those. And then I ended up incorporating those into the deck because it was so magical and it flowed and it fit perfectly.
Right.
And to use them as like a card is just amazing because before I would write it like in my journal, and like have the questions there and like see that and then like go back and forth, which is still fine. I still do that, but to actually have the power of the spread in one spot and like the layout of what the card should look like, because that's also important to me.
I was just going to ask, how do you determine what the positioning of the card is doing? Like, for example, like on your new moon connection spread, you have the 1 on top, then you have 2, 4, 5, and then you have the 3 on the bottom. So how do you determine like where the card goes in the spread?
It's usually like I utilize like a card that's like you or an energy as like the main focus. So that'll be like at the top, it'll be card one, kind of like on its own maybe. And depending on like what it is how I'll format it. So like for the new moon, it's like you, and then the darkness shrouding, and then like the underneath is how to let go and release. So it's kind of like symbolically underneath and like releasing, if that makes sense.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then for like the moon, I believe I went in a circle.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, so as it's like coming to fruition, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So like, and then the elemental cards are actually in the shapes of their elemental symbols.
Oh my God, I did not even notice that. That is so freaking brilliant.
Show me a card.
Wait, okay, so like
because I only have the tarot spreads in front of me.
There's fire.
Oh my God, we both pulled air.
Oh wait, air. Sorry, air.
You both pulled air.
I had fire in my other hand. Fire.
And then earth, because the line.
Oh my gosh, you're so clever.
Look at that. So that one's like a downward triangle, I guess, right? And then the element of earth. Yeah.
That is so clever.
Very, very cool.
Sneaky.
I did include in the tarot deck, there's a spread in the book, I think, like a deck interview spread.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like how your elemental spreads, it's kind of like obviously going along with the element, but like the element of fire, it asks, what is contributing to my burnout? How to nurture and grow my flame? I love how they're like thematically synonymous with the element. Earth, how do I achieve balance? How do I remain stable and grounded? Water, how do I embrace the flow? How do I connect with my emotions? And air, how can I clear my thoughts? What is not benefiting my mind? How to release worry? I just love how they're all fitting with the theme of the element. The questions are like really pertaining to honing in on those qualities or those emotions or, you know, whatever energy.
Yeah, the action magical qualities in a way of like each element.
Yes.
I love that. And then I love how you have the witch's self-care. What's the difference between the witch's self-care and the inner witch check-in? How would you say those differentiate?
Well, for one, there's like a bigger spread because one's like an extra card. The self-care is kind of like a quick checklist of like yourself because it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Just like quick, like what do I need? And like the inner witch check-in is dealing specifically. Like question one, it says the heart of an issue, you know, and then what's blocking that issue, how to embrace your. So it's like a deeper dive than the just quick check-in, if that makes sense.
Very cool. What do you prefer? Which one do you like to dive into when you pick up your deck?
I really like the inner witch check-in because it's 5 cards, but I don't always see myself doing all 5, so sometimes I'll just do like a 3. I think I included like also there's like a 1, 2, 3 card spread card in the Oracle deck.
Okay.
And then so currently my go-to is like opportunity, obstacle, and advice, which I don't think that's on there, but this is like a new thing I started doing for like my 3 cards. So like the opportunity for the day or like an energy I can embrace, and then like the potential obstacle or challenge I might face, and then like some advice for that day to hold on to.
Do you think you'll include that on the actual card once you do like you said you were going to add maybe some new symbolic cards to your Oracle deck?
Yeah, I might. I think I might change up like the spread cards, or like I said, I might just, I don't know. I have to see what kind of calls to me.
Right.
But I definitely want to do like a 3rd edition.
Oh, awesome. That would be so cool.
The spread cards are like interchangeable, right? Between tarot and Oracle. You can do either. Yeah. So can you tell us what would be in your 3rd edition?
I want to change like a few images within the cards.
Okay.
I thought about changing the back maybe.
Okay.
Just something to kind of make them different, you know?
The back of the
I really love the back though. It's so iconic, you know?
Yeah.
So I just might like adjust some cards. Like for instance, the Sparrow card, it's not one of my favorites in the deck. I kind of want to interchange that with something else.
Do you think you would replace it with the dove that's in the film?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Like on my 3 of, I don't know if I could find it, but on my tarot deck, the 3 of Swords is the stabbed dove.
Okay.
And I can utilize that.
Yeah. I was curious, like, why you chose the sparrow over the dove, since the dove is like kind of like the more symbolically associated with the film, I guess.
The sparrow, because it represented in the books, remember there'd be like a sparrow that flew through the house every like, what was it, Beltane or something? And then it would like create chaos, and like it was a sign that trouble was coming. And I was like, okay, I can use that.
Cool. Yeah, I totally forgot about the sparrow, and then Kristina was like, remember the sparrow in the book? I was like, oh, completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Okay. There's a dove.
Okay. Nice.
But like I said earlier, I wanted to make like I don't know if it'd be like an extra card, like how I have like spread cards, or if it'd just be a card in the deck, because I wanted like a solar return specifically. That'd be like the card title. And then like maybe the keywords could be like celebrate and like happiness or something. And it'd be the chocolate cake. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Do you have a favorite card or favorite cards in the deck or a go-to spread that you like to use in your tarot deck?
In the tarot, I definitely the Hermit has always been a favorite card of mine, and it was the first card I created.
Oh,
So
cool.
that holds a lot of special. But I really enjoy the Witch instead of
Nice.
the Magician because it's the as above, so below. And as for spread, I really like the Inner Witch check-in spread in the Oracle deck.
Okay, that's awesome.
See, that's the hard thing too, is because like all my good spreads, not good spreads, but the spreads I prefer to use are in the Oracle, not the tarot.
Okay,
like
which
the
ones do you prefer?
The moon fate, like the elementals are like a real good one. Like the fire element spread. I should probably do that today because it's all about like sparking that creativity and like harnessing your flame, you know?
Yes.
So.
Do you keep any Oracle tarot cards out for like a daily pull or just to look at? Because I show Justina all the time your manifest card is always on my desk right where I can see it.
Nice reminder.
But I don't know if I'm the only person who does that.
Yeah, I've been really bad about pulling cards lately, but I have like a stand that I usually put the cards, and I usually try to do like a 3-card pull, and then so I just made a 3-card holder with this last Kickstarter.
Oh, cool.
I'm using that.
Okay.
But I also have, it's like a acrylic case. I think it's for like a makeup or something. I got it at Target. I put the decks that I want to use for like the month in there, and so there's like a couple different like Oracle and tarot decks that I can quickly grab because I noticed if like the deck is like in a box. Mary, what do you want?
Pet interruption.
Sorry.
Hi, baby.
Oh my God,
Mr. Mercury.
You're so cute. Daddy.
Cutie.
No kissers. Oh,
okay.
I touched your face. Yes, you were saying if the cards are in the box.
Yeah, if the cards are in the box, I'm less likely to like open the box, pull them out, and like use them. So like if they're like sitting out, it's easy for me to grab and like use.
You have a great inventory to choose from.
You know, honestly, lately I've been like overwhelmed. I'm just like, what do I want to use? And like, so I'm trying to break it down by like a month now.
Oh, cool.
And, like,
how do you do that? What do you?
A couple. So like October, I chose like darker, spookier decks to work with, and then so now I'm like, okay, I want to work with still kind of dark, but like going into winter, you know. So like dark but light. So I have like this line strider deck. It's like all white and it's like line work, and I'm like, oh, that'll be like a good deck to use. So I kind of just judge by season-ish almost, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like that.
And then I'm getting decks to like review from like publishers now. So I'm doing that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you do that on a YouTube channel? Where do you put your reviews?
No, I've been doing them on just like my page and posting pictures. I need to like do videos and stuff. God, I hate doing videos. like TikTok and YouTube.
I know. I can't get on board with all these like new short form content reels. They take longer to edit than it takes you to watch them. It just like I don't know.
Yeah, segueing into the social media thing, is there one platform that is your straight go-to first call?
I love Instagram. I don't know. It's like it got me where I am. I mean, I have like 15.8K followers or something.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That to me is like can't like that's phenomenal. Like I can't believe it, you know. And it's just like the engagement has died. Like I have like 30 to 50 people like my page out of that many followers. Like you know, so like it's kind of disturbing. I've been using Threads lately just to kind of like post whatever.
Yeah, what is that? Can you explain how you use the Threads?
Yeah, so Threads is I never really used Twitter, so like I guess it's similar to Twitter, but it's basically like little clips. People are posting like sentences and stuff like that. Occasionally there's like pictures, but I use it kind of just posting what I feel like. Sometimes I'll post work stuff, and like the other day I was taking pictures of like my new deck, and then one of my cards in the crystal deck is fluorite, and it says experience the burnout. And then I just posted on Threads, and I'm like, I had to post this, and I was like, IYKYK, like if you know, you know, and it like blew up, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
So how are Threads different than your stories
on Instagram?
Yeah,
it's not like a full page thing for one person. It's just like,
I guess I could go check out your Threads. I just am so I've never looked into it.
It's just like lists of like what people are saying.
Oh, okay.
So, and there's like occasional pictures.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a Twitter feed.
Yeah, so it's like Twitter.
All right.
Okay. How do we find that? If we're gonna navigate to a thread, how do we see your thread?
I don't know. It connected to my Instagram, but if you go to my Instagram, you might be able to connect to my thread, and then it'll like take you to And it's
That's
like
cool.
cool because a lot of like indie people that I know that are using it use it as just kind of like a outlet of their own personal, like not totally connected to their business.
It's a little more personal.
Yeah, it's fun.
Like a behind the scenes on like the creative process and whatnot.
Yeah, and then YouTube, I tried doing YouTube a couple years ago with deck reviews and stuff. And I don't know, I'm not big on like showing myself, but I'm trying to fight that. I want to start doing, not wanna, I am going to start doing readings on TikTok.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
And like show myself, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
And then that might get me comfortable to do like reviews on YouTube. And because I think a lot of people are on YouTube more than Instagram now.
It might also, in
And
essence, help you sell more decks because if people can associate a face with the product, you can connect with more people that way.
You have a lovely face. I love
And
seeing your
thank
face.
you.
after every reading, you plug that product and you say, if you enjoyed today's reading, you can get it right here on groundedbythemoon.com. You know, just do the whole sales pitch.
Hired.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hired. You can't afford her.
I work for peanuts. So I guess rolling with the social media thing, you were talking a bit before about your crowdfunding campaign, and when you do the crowdfunding, building a buzz around that. How do you build a buzz not only around like crowdfunding campaigns, but around, I guess, your products in general? Do you invest in a lot of ads, or is it by word of mouth, or is it more organic traffic? Like, what are you finding is most effective?
I don't use ads. I probably should. I was talking to someone, I think last week, and they were saying how they don't use Instagram anymore because they have no engagement, but then they paid for an ad, and then all of a sudden their followers were seeing their stuff because they paid for an ad. So that like kind of rung a bell for me, and I'm like, okay, so now they want you to just pay for your exposure, basically.
Right.
But I've always been organic, you know. I message you guys. I just ask people to share my stuff, you know, and try to give back if they need me to, you know. Before I've created like engagement groups on Instagram, like a big chat with like different people, and then you just kind of send in that chat like something we want shared, and then like different people in there can share it if they want, you know. Other than that, I have like a newsletter, but I don't really utilize that. I probably should. For Kickstarter though, they have like this pre-launch thing, so like before your campaign launches, you can have like a link for people to like sign up to show like interest, and then it sends them a link for like when it goes live.
Okay.
But that's like what I've been using also to like create hype for decks, and then been like, oh, if we reach like 100 people that sign up, like I'll include like a free sticker or something, like, you know what I mean, just like a little incentive.
Do you have like regular people on a mailing list, like you reach out to regularly via like email or whatever, like a MailChimp or any kind of like actual
I use
template?
MailChimp.
Okay, cool.
But I keep using the same template too, and like I don't know, I'm not really good at emails, I guess. I don't know.
Do you find a lot of people open emails? I feel like email is like a dying art. I feel like nobody opens email anymore.
It's like kind of sketchy. Like you don't know what links you're opening sometimes.
Yeah, so I don't utilize it, but I do like occasionally. Like I'm gonna probably do one in the next few days for like the sale I'm having, and then the day before my pre-orders go, and like when they go live. I use it kind of for mainly big things because I know a lot of people don't like to be bombarded with like emails, so I try not to do it too much. You know, it's like a hard balance.
We did want to know about talking about like kind of shady people, like the internet trolls or people like using imitation processes or trying to hack your stuff, sell your stuff. How do you handle that?
I got really upset with it at first. A year and a half ago, it really got bad, you know, and there was like imitation people left and right. You know, I kept getting messages of like, oh, there's this person trying to be you, and it was really frustrating, you know, but eventually I'm just like, you know, it's not my job to police everything. And like, if someone ends up doing that, like, I hate to say it, but it's not my fault.
No, not at all.
That personally, you know, but I kind of just like, that happens, but I do pay for the stupid blue check mark. And I felt like that kind of helped, you know?
Do you think that has helped with kind of like,
I think it has.
So people know that you're the real creator to get the decks from you and not, you know, wherever else they find it on the internet. So you only sell your decks on your website?
So I sold it on my website on Etsy, but I didn't necessarily do the check mark for like people knowing it was me to get my decks from me, because they were getting messages about like reading and stuff, like pay for this reading and you've been called, and you know.
I can't believe people are still falling for that scam.
I felt very drawn to you, and
exactly. Yeah,
Like,
but
that still works.
I do find like a lot of like illegal replica cheap mock-ups of my deck on like AliExpress and eBay and stuff, and they're
I've
like
seen them on Temu as well.
$7 and yeah,
Yeah.
team. And I'm just like, it got to me at first, but then I'm also like, you can easily tell if you follow me and see these have like pretty edges for one. Like
They're quality. They're not
Yeah.
and then
it's
people
trash replica.
message me asking me for like a guidebook, and I'm like, no, sorry, like all my decks come with a guidebook in a book style box, and like I explain everything, and
Yeah, that was the other thing. Like, how can people tell the difference between that garbage
A
and
legit
your
copy
quality
and a
stuff?
fake.
see, that's what another reason I try to go above and beyond with my designs, and like I don't want to use like a cheap box and like no guidebook and like not edging my card. It's like all these little things help make it authentic. And I've even gone one step further now as of this last Kickstarter, and I'm including certificates of authenticity with every deck, and it's
Very
gonna
good.
have a holographic sticker, and it's
love
gonna
that.
have a embossed print thing on it that
That's
I got
very
designed.
cool.
Fantastic. Do you still want people to let you know that somebody's pretending to be you? Like, how can they report fraudulent imitation decks? Is there like a council that, how would they go about that if you still want people to alert you?
I feel like at this point, I don't really want people to alert me
Okay.
because I also feel like there's not much I can do or gets done about it.
Right.
Basically, what you can do is just like report the item and see what happens, but not much happens, or like report the account. Because I don't know, even though it doesn't bother me as much, like still getting that message is
It's almost better for them to just report it,
Mhm.
use that option on the post.
But as a creator, I'm sure it feels so violating to have your work stolen like that.
I'm so sorry you have to deal with that. But if you're gonna find that silver lining, like you made it when you have haters and you have people
want to be you.
You want to be you. But it is awful.
Yeah.
It is awful. Did you have any more questions about the spreads?
I don't have any more spread questions. I guess my only other question pertaining to the actual deck was, when did the sides come into play? Because you have the gold foil edges and then you have the holographic edges. So what kind of made you decide that you wanted to offer both? Oh, Kristina has a holographic one. How did you decide you wanted to include two different edged decks?
So that was a whole fun experience in itself.
Tell us all.
So, like I told you, my first edition, I like hand edged the decks with like an ink pad. I did it with a black ink pad, so they had black edges.
Okay.
And when I was making my deck, I had my Kickstarter going, and the plan was to have black edges. My Kickstarter like finished, it was all funded, and I was talking to my printers, and then they were like making the samples, and they're like, we can't do black edges. And I'm like, what? I've seen them on other decks, and they're like, yeah, but it's not like staying good and it's not going to look good or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, so we have this other option of like this black holographic, which is the holographic I know going on. Yeah. And I was like, okay, let me think about it. And what's really funny is originally I was thinking about doing 2 editions, a full moon and a new moon. And then this happened. And I was like, so the fates are like listening, and they're like, this is what you wanted, So I'm like, okay, so I'll do a gold, and I'll do like to make like 2 different editions,
Yeah.
And the big reason was because I couldn't really decide if I wanted to do gold or the black.
You wanted both.
Right.
You said you have Libra, right? You're Libra rising.
Yeah. Personally, I like the holographic on the tarot, I think, more.
Yeah.
And the black on the oracle, because there's more black on the oracle, I think. And like the tarot, the gold like helps pop the back. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So you offer both the holographic and the gold on both the oracle and the tarot deck.
Yes, but I am almost sold out of the gold on both. I'm actually almost sold out of my tarot completely. That's why I'm like, I need to do a second edition.
Congratulations. That's awesome. I have one question. I want to know about your green hat.
The green hat
in your picture.
It's
adorable.
Thank you.
Did you make that?
My friend made it, the one that I did the deck with, the oracle, nice. The practical magic oracle deck. It was after I moved, and I asked her, I was like, oh, can you make me a hat? Because she was like making little cloaks and stuff. And I was like, oh, I want like a little green hat. And like, so she got it. And then I went down there and we went to the Pagan Con, I think, or something like that, in like Long Beach. And then I wore it, and that's for the picture. So.
What is it made out of?
It's felt, yeah.
Felt?
But I haven't worn it as much anymore because like every time I put it on now, I feel like I'm Peter Pan. It doesn't really look that witchy. I was like, okay, I want to get like an actual hat.
I love it. Well, if you meet us in Salem next year, I'll get you a nice
bring the hat,
witchy hat.
Cool.
So should we dive into our quiz?
All right, I'm ready now. We're ready.
Okay, we're gonna test you on some of your practical magic knowledge.
Oh,
So,
God.
no
Okay.
pressure. No pressure at all. These are kind of like more obscure questions. So I pulled a couple from like a quiz I found online, but like everything I'm finding online was like so easy. So I kind of tried to like make it a little.
Okay, you made it hard.
Yeah, she made it hard. How many questions did you do?
It's not too hard.
There's
Like,
only 35
1, 2,
questions.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 questions. Okay. It's not that long.
Okay.
All right. So how many men and women were at Maria's hanging, Maria not included? I have multiple choice. So 27, 38, 14, or 10.
I have no clue. I wanted to say 14, but I think it's 28. I'm probably
Close.
totally wrong.
38. So 10 more people.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people.
Not too far off.
You know what's funny is when you asked that, instantly the movie popped in my head, and then I just got clouded. I'm like, I don't know.
And I'm pretty sure they recycled one of those extra women for a scene later on, right, Kristina? We found
For sure.
the lady, the one that mouths the word witch, right? I think they reused her in another scene.
Yeah, she's getting ice cream or some shit.
Yeah, she's getting ice cream at the truck in the background. You gotta pause it or you'll miss it. It goes by fast. What is the color of Jillian's shirt as she's leaving the house for the first time? Blue, gray, green, or black?
I was going to say white, but I think it's black.
It is blue.
Oh.
Blue. Does it have like dark blue sleeves or something? It's like a two-tone shirt, or is it just one with doesn't she have flowers on it or something?
I don't remember, honestly. I have to go back.
We're quizzing somebody, we don't know the answers.
I pulled this question from one of the quizzes online.
Oh, okay.
I
don't think I would have gotten that one.
Yeah. How many times was Belladonna said or used in the movie? 7, 2, 4, or 8?
8.
You're right. Ding, 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 ding. It was said twice by Jillian, used once, said 3 times by Sally, used once, and said once by Gary. I don't know if that math checks out. I got this online. All right. But these next few questions are actually my questions. Because I was like, these questions are a little too easy. So, all right. So this next question, what is Gary's condition called in which the colored part of the iris is multicolored? Amyplopia, retinopathy, heterochromia, or chromosochromia?
Heterochromia?
Yay!
You are right. This next question is...
That doesn't count. That's not from the movie, though. They never said that.
You're just so smart.
They never did say it. You would actually probably... Well, we never did our Gary episode yet, so I was going to say, if people listen to our podcast, they might know, but we didn't even talk about that yet.
And Gary's coming.
Gary's coming in the next, week or two, right?
Right after Joseph.
Right after this. Okay. This next one we did talk about on this podcast, so if you guys listen to Magnolia Street, you might know this one. What was the special effect used on Jimmy's ghost? Tintype, ambrotype, daguerreotype, or paranormiotype?
Can you repeat them again?
Tintype, ambrotype, daguerreotype, or paranormiotype?
I want to say embryo, but I'm probably wrong.
You're actually close, because I think these are often confused. It was daguerreotype, but I think, didn't we talk about the ambrotype?
We did, yeah, they are. Yeah, they're very similar.
Did
you make up paranormiotype?
Fuck yeah, I made that up.
Did you make that up?
And I was like, that doesn't sound too legit, but it was funny.
I also made up chromosochromia in the last question.
Nice.
I was just trying to throw him off a little bit, but he's too smart for us. So, okay, this next one. This one you got to be a little more observant. What is the zip code on the Maria's Island sign on the post office in the center of town? I have some multiple choice here, okay?
There's a lot of numbers, though.
There's a lot of numbers. So, 98239, 02568, 01970, or 98250.
Can you repeat the first two?
Yeah, so we have 98239 or 02568.
I want to say number 2, but I'm going to go with number 1.
Trust your gut.
You should have trusted your gut.
I was going to say, go look at our back catalog of season 1. Go search real quick.
I thought for sure he was going to get this because you're from the Pacific Northwest, right? And I don't know if zip codes up your way typically start with 9, 8, whatever.
Oh my God, I didn't even think that. But yeah, mine's 974.
Because 2 of those
I really did know.
You did know.
The 9-8 ones, one I think was from Coopville and the other one was San Juan or Friday Harbor, San Juan Islands. And then the other 2 were, I think, Salem and then the one from the film, which was 02568.
We're going to count it.
Which me and Kristina already did an episode on this 02568 is really Cape Cod, right? Which we've come to discover.
Right.
Yeah,
but this is a trick question because they had 2 zip codes.
That's right.
In this movie, the one you can see on the mail place in the beginning when the girls are coming out of the mail post office. And then there's another one at the top of the letter that Gary sends back to the girls with the ring.
We just discovered that one.
Yeah.
Recently.
Totally different place in Massachusetts, though, wasn't it?
What? Yeah. Weird.
Anyway.
Wild. All right, so the next question. Who was the film's score's original composer? Philip Glass, Marco Beltrami, Michael Nyman, or Danny Elfman?
Philip Glass? Is that right?
No.
She's shaking her head yes.
I thought you were saying Philip Glass. Like, that's a weird choice, but okay. It was Michael Nyman. Michael Nyman.
I'm like, Danny Elfman didn't do it, but that would have been cool.
That would have been cool. Awesome.
Have you heard the Michael Nyman's score on YouTube? You can find it on YouTube, I think. You have to check it out and let us know your thoughts.
It's wild.
Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely
you have to send it to me.
Not the same feel or aesthetic at all.
So they made a good choice.
Yeah, I think they did make a good choice. We just recorded an episode on Michael Nyman, so you'll probably hear that in the next month or so. And we do a whole deep dive on that lost film score on top of like some of the other notable stuff that he's done. Mm-hmm. It's just fascinating that there's so much like this whole film is such a rabbit hole. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. There's so much stuff to like discover and talk about and like behind the scenes stuff. It's crazy.
Do you guys still cry, or how often do you watch it?
For research purposes alone, probably like at least whenever we need to rewatch it for a topic. So maybe once or twice a month, once a month.
Sometimes weekly if we're going in and getting screenshots.
Yeah, sometimes
not the whole thing. We'll fast forward to where we need to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the last time I sat down.
It's not that often for me, so I still cry sometimes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we were just the last time you and I just watched the whole thing because we were doing a commentary on it.
Yeah.
And that one scene, I get verklempt every time Sally, is begging for Michael to come back. It's just heartbreaking.
Oh, I know.
It's so sad. And then at the end with the uplifting, the landing and the kiss and the pumpkins.
My husband, he's funny. He's like, I told him I rewatched it like a couple weeks ago with like my friend. He's like, did you cry during the whole thing?
Yeah. It's so good. You just watch it differently as an adult too,
For sure. There's one more question on the quiz. Which herb is not mentioned in the film? Belladonna, yarrow, mugwort, or braided wheat straw?
I want to say yarrow. I should trust my gut.
Yay!
Okay.
You got it.
So yarrow, interesting, because Alice she does mention yarrow quite a few times in the book, but every time she mentions yarrow, it's part of a poisoner's garden, which is wild to me because as far as I know, yarrow isn't poisonous, right?
I don't think so. Not as far as I know. Now you have me curious.
Is it in your herbal deck?
It is. I believe so.
Do you have a garden?
I do. It's all kind of dead right now.
Yeah. Do you grow yarrow in your garden at all?
I think I did last year actually. It was the first year because I was like, oh, pretty.
Yeah.
It was all
It is
yellow.
beautiful.
But we have it like growing everywhere wild here, I think.
Oh,
it's
cool.
very hardy. It takes so well. It grew like up to my hip the first year. When I cut it back, I actually used the bushel to make a besom that's sitting on my front porch.
I need you to come take care of my yarrow because it does not like where it's at.
Really?
Yeah. There it is.
I love yarrow because like the blooms, you can get it in any color. You can get it in white, purple, fuchsia, yellow. So beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll read you from the book.
Yeah, please.
The affirmation is, with mindful awareness of the signs that guide me, I open myself to the magic that surrounds me. And it's about magical awareness, being mindful, perception, and realization. You have pulled the Yarrow card, a gentle reminder to stay attuned to the beauty and wonder that surround you. It's a call to be mindful and present in each moment, allowing yourself to truly experience the magic that is present in everyday life. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of everyday life and overlook the subtle synchronicities that are there to guide you. When you are present and aware, you are able to perceive the magic that is always present in your life. The Yarrow card may indicate that you have been feeling disconnected from the magic of your life. You may be too busy or distracted to realize what is happening outside of yourself. Allow yourself to fully immerse in the present moment, paying attention to the world around you. Notice the beauty in nature, the kindness in others, and the synchronicities that may be guided.
How would be doing that?
I feel like there's a running theme today. You're not making enough time.
What's with today's message?
You're not making enough time for your magic.
Right.
All all of us, right? We're so busy with the hustle and bustle and the rat race and trying to grind. And sometimes you just
need that tea time.
We need tea time.
Exactly. I feel like me and Kristina started this podcast because this is our tea time. We just get to like sit back, shoot the shit, talk about the one thing we love talking about the most in the entire world. We're just so grateful that we have people like you that share that same love and that can just shoot the shit and talk about this till we're blue in the face.
Yes.
Right? So I guess with that, we have one short little this or that game, and then we will let you go for today. But we appreciate you and all the hard work. You're a one-man show and you're killing it. And we just look forward to all the decks and all the beautiful stuff you put out into the world. So keep doing
Thank you.
doing what you're doing. So Kristina, do you want to take this away? You want to ask him this or that?
All right, Joseph, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Book or film?
Ooh, book.
Book. All right, Sally or Jillian?
Well, wait, hold on. Book as in like the series, not just the book.
Okay.
Film as just Practical Magic though.
Got it.
Okay. Sally or Jillian?
Jillian.
Ooh, Francis or Jet?
Jet.
Nice. Have you listened to our Jet episode yet?
I haven't.
Okay. Skip ahead. Go listen to that one. I had some
Jet.
major realizations. I totally 180'd on Jet. Like Fran is like the tough love one, but I 180'd him. I'm a Jet fan. Kylie or Antonia in the movie?
Yeah.
Neither.
Fuck those kids.
I guess Antonia.
Okay. Gary or Michael?
Michael.
Me too.
Yeah.
Michael.
He's so handsome.
He got the short end of the stick there. Poor guy.
Jimmy Angelo or James Hawkins?
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy. Gary or Jimmy? You can be honest.
Jimmy.
Yeah. I'm trying to highlight these as I go. Linda Bennett or Carla?
Linda.
Linda. Is there a reason why Linda?
I don't know. My Nana's named Linda too. I like that name a lot.
Okay.
So like anytime anyone's named Linda, it just sticks out to me.
Okay. The film's finale, movie, Halloween, or book, Thanksgiving?
I like Halloween.
Yes.
That's the one thing about the book. I felt the ending was anticlimactic.
Yes, it really was.
100%.
Lavender or rose?
Lavender.
Yeah. Coopville or Cape Cod?
Coopville.
Yeah.
Pacific
West
Northwest.
Coast. Which kiss? This kiss with Michael or Crystal with Gary?
This kiss.
Yeah. He's gonna wrap your legs around
this
someone.
kiss in the movie, but I love listening to Chris.
Yeah.
Iconic kiss.
Yeah. They're both great kisses, but I mean, what girl doesn't want to just jump on someone and just go,
Right?
Yeah.
go down?
You know he is not dropping her.
Oh, no,
Those apple muscles.
Those apple muscles. Mr. Apples. Remember the apples?
All right, Joseph, couple last little questions. What's your favorite scene in the film?
God, there's a couple.
It's hard.
That's okay. You can pick a couple. Top 3.
Yeah.
I really love the blood bond scene.
Oh, yeah.
And I really love the inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
And the iconic
What's
Yeah,
wrong with you?
what is wrong with you? I don't know.
say those.
Yeah.
My top.
For sure.
Do you have a favorite song on the soundtrack?
I listen to Crystal a lot.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
That's a beautiful song.
And then have you listened to any of our original music? And if you have, do you have a song that you've been like, that's pretty good?
I have not. I've heard clips though, and I was impressed with what I heard.
Okay.
I think that's all we have for Joseph today. I'm sure we could have gone on and on and on and on, but we respect your time. You have a lot of decks to go create. And self-care first, though, right? Yeah.
Go get your doggy out for a walk.
Yeah.
And thank you again so much.
So much. We hope to do
Yes,
this.
I was just gonna say I want to do this more often if possible, and just chatting, and it's fun. So I'm gonna eventually dive into the last book.
Let us know when you do, so then we can talk about it without spoiling things for you.
Yeah.
I know I should just like push through it, but that's the other thing. I want to like enjoy it, but I don't
Enjoy
like
it.
wanna-
You know what?
It's the
Enjoy
end,
it with a
though.
cup of tea, so then you're forced to slow down and relax.
There we go.
There we go.
There you go.
That's today's theme. Slow down and just calm down.
Calm down. Joseph, can you tell everybody where to find you, your handles, your website, and anything else about yourself that you'd love people to know?
Yeah, I'm available on Etsy at Grounded by the Moon. I also have my main website, groundedbythemoon.com. I am on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube at Grounded by the Moon. And I just keep on creating until I can't create anymore. But
Fantastic.
I have more decks planned. I plan on expanding to more like magical items, more candles, and possibly bath
Ooh, love a good
That
bath
sounds
product.
awesome. And make sure you guys look for that blue check mark
The blue check
on Instagram for those special products from Joseph.
Yeah, and don't forget, you guys can get 10% off your entire order if you use our coupon code Magnolia Magic on groundedbythemoon.com. Joseph was generous to give us a coupon code, so if you guys listen to the podcast, if you hear us pull from the Inner Witch Oracle on our episodes and you want to get in on these beautiful decks, go hit up his site now.
Yes. Joseph, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure as always.
Yes, and
Always.
we can't wait to chat with you again.
All right, take care.
Right,
Bye.
bye.
Oh, there you are.
There I is.
There you is. Okay,
There
cool.
I is. Hold on. There's over my microphone.
That was phenomenal. I'm so
nice.
I feel like spoiled. We got
I know.
like we started at 11. It's almost 2. All this time. That was so wonderful.
Yeah, that was great. So informative, such a wealth of information, and like he really is like the epitome of like one man show. Like he's doing
What a
it all
boss.
himself. He's such a boss, right?
Boss witch, man.
Boss witch energy right there.
Dude, we could have talked his ear off all day.
I'm sure he would have been cool with that too. Like
Yeah,
we could have talked to him forever.
Yeah.
But got a lot of work to do still.
Yes. That's why I was curious. I was like, what is your day like? Because that seems like a lot that you're doing, creating not just the card decks, all this other stuff.
Running
Insane.
his own crowdfunding campaigns, and like me and you talked about it. Like if we didn't have Plaid Dog in our corner, I don't know if we could have run a whole crowdfunding campaign like that. But he's doing
At least not successfully.
yeah, and he's doing it over and over and over again successfully. And
Yeah,
it
go check out Joseph.
blows my mind. He's amazing.
It is.
But that was so cool. So glad we got to finally chat with him. He's been on our list to chat with since we pretty much started this podcast, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So, just so cool that we were able to make the connection.
I typically will feel kind of drained after interviews, but I'm like jazzed as hell right now.
Let's
I'm
go
like, I
create
want to go create.
Do you want to go
cook?
create? Yeah, he's just so inspiring. Like he's constantly in creative mode. Like even when he's in the bath, he's like, I can't stop thinking about what am I gonna post on my Patreon? What new decks can I create? And it's like he never stops, and it's like there's just so much creativity oozing out of him, and it blows my mind.
He's got to have fire in his chart
That's
somewhere.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. For feeling as creative as I am with 0 fire, like you can tell because there's almost no follow through. And that's why I have you.
I'm the follow through. Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks for being my follow through.
Fire sign to put that literally fire under the ass, making sure those things are getting done. And he's got to have some fire in his chart for sure. I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, he's got earth, air, water. Was the other one water?
Libra's air.
Air. So double air and earth?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah. Well, he's got the business sense maybe because that's how he's that's how he's crunching all those numbers. Because let me tell you, my brain does not have any air in it at all, which is why I'm always like, Kristina, you can do the business schmoozing. I'm just gonna sit back and like I'll make sure shit happens, but I don't know how to do that other stuff.
We have a pretty decent balance.
Yeah,
I think we're pretty good.
I'm grateful for that.
Until we have a Cancer moon erupt our world.
Oh my god, and then we both can't make decisions to save our life, and that's when we're like, patrons, what do you guys think?
Right. Yes, please. Shout out. Go find us on Patreon. Hop over on the Patreon Facebook, and like we really want a conversation with you guys about having you be a part of the creative process on Magnolia Street. We put polls. We ask open-ended questions about what you guys want to see, what to hear about. We just need you to pick up the phone. Let us know.
Reflect. Dial in.
Yeah, dial in.
We want to hear from you.
Lines are open.
Lines are open. So I guess while we're on the topic, listen to our Patreon spiel if you want to support the podcast. If you guys do want to support the podcast on Patreon, you can support us for as little as $1 a month. That's our seedling tier, and that gets you access to our patron-only polls where you get to weigh in on what topics you would like us to talk about next. It also gets you our monthly calendar so you can see what topics we have coming up for the month, and it also gets you a welcome shout out on the show. Our $3 Lavender Bud tier gets you our show notes for each episode in an aesthetically pleasing PDF, our after hours posts, if there's any extra tidbits or behind the scenes info pertaining to any of our episodes, we'll post those along with a blog post or extra photos, and access to our specially curated Spotify playlists. We have created playlists for our WMSR episodes as well as Production Dream playlists for each song episode, and more. Our $5 Lilac tier gets you access to our private Facebook community where we host a monthly live stream. Plus, you'll get access to our Discord server where we host our monthly watch parties. And also on the Discord, you can join in on the discussion with other Magnolia Street neighbors via the various interesting channels and threads. And then here's the $8 Rose tier. This gets you access to extra audio-visual content such as a once-a-month full-length video episode, unlimited bonus videos, uncut footage, cutting room floor footage, bloopers, outtakes, meditations, exclusive interviews, and old home videos from the vault, or spell or ritual videos, and more. It also gets you bonus content to coincide with our song-episodes, such as full-length demo streams of our original Practical Magic inspired music, plus lyric sheets, guitar chords, and original scratch demos, or bonus video performances of our songs and more. Lastly, we have our $15 Wisteria Vine tier. Just like a twisting Wisteria Vine, there's a way for you to stay connected with us, the Stinas. In this tier, we invite you to join our private Marco Polo video messaging app. The app is totally free for both Android and iOS. Sign up with your phone number or email, and we will help you do the rest. This is a great way to chat with each other in a more intimate group setting, face-to-face via video recording. We love to show each other our pets, our gardens, or anything else you'd like to share. And just a reminder that the higher the tier you sign up under, the more rewards you get, because you get all of the rewards of the tiers below it. You can upgrade or downgrade or even cancel at any time. So to support the podcast, head to patreon.com/Magnolia Street Podcast.
Yeah, and there are additional ways to support us and our podcast that don't cost you any money. If you do listen on Spotify, please give us a star rating. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please give us a written review. We love sharing those on our Instagram. And if you're on Instagram, we would really appreciate any reposts or blurbs about our podcast. And make sure to tag us at Magnolia Street Podcast in your feed, posts, stories, and share us with your Practical Magic loving friends. We also have merch that you just heard of. If you can't find a design, is that on the recorded thing? I don't think so. We also have merch over on our Teespring. Be a part of the Magnolia Street neighborhood, sport a hoodie or t-shirt. If there's a design that you like that you don't see on a product, let us know. There's water bottles. I think this is on a recording. We didn't have a rap sheet. I have no idea.
I don't think it's on the Patreon spiel, but
I think it is.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We have merch. Go check out our Teespring shop. Everything is in our Koji bio and our Instagram.
Yeah, this was phenomenal.
This was great. And definitely check out Joseph at groundedbythemoon.com. Get in on that 10% discount code if you use Magnolia Magic.
Yes.
And we can't wait to have him back and chat with him again. And maybe we can get him on a Vincent episode if we do that character.
Stop. That's a great idea.
That's his favorite character, so we gotta.
That's a great idea.
All right.
Awesome.
Are we ready to close this out for today?
Yeah, I'm gonna go have some mac and cheese.
Oh, I'm jealous. I want mac and cheese. I have bolognese, but I don't have time to make some pasta now. I gotta go.
You gotta get going. Well, thank you again, guys. Come back next Friday for more Magnolia Street action. I'm Kristina.
I'm Justina.
We'll see you next time. Back to you, Suzanne.
Back to you.
At the house on Magnolia Street, would you go down to Magnolia Street when the wisteria grow out? At the house of magic and mystery, so would you go down to Magnolia Street?
I called you
Bill.
Suzanne. Sue.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. That's a wrap.